Alright, guess what? It's that time again. Welcome to another session of Amongst the Giants here on Forgebreaker. Tonight, let me pull up some notes here because I have lots of notes as always. Let's see. Tonight our party finds out the mysteries of the fallen village of Triboar as they begin to make their way, or continue to make their way towards Yartar. But first, covering our news, don't forget Fate's game night, 10:30 on Thursday. It's tomorrow. He'll continue. I believe he's finishing Rise of the Tomb Raider this week. I'll double check with him this evening. Then 8:30 on Friday is D&D replay, so Friday morning, kind of catch you up on everything you missed here, including this game if you end up missing some of it. Then we are back here live on Saturday for Civil War Alliance. It's our first session back since everything went to hell in the crossover event, so it's going to be very exciting to watch as well. Sunday is Fell Entropy. It's going to be our return there for Dinosaur Racing, so that should be fun as well. Next Tuesday is Tyranny. Next Wednesday is Civil War Empire, so they're going to continue and figure out where that's going to go as well. There's a lot coming up. We hope you're going to be around for it. I look forward to having you here. I, on the other hand, I'm going to check with our party, see if they are ready here. You guys good here?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Okay. So, last session, the journey was passing its way through the city or the village of Red Larch when it came to a somewhat panicked halt as our adventurers decided to engage in a bit of heroics aboard the wagon caravan that they were riding. Knocking Jostin from the wagon, things looked a little bit suspicious, with a group of humanoids and goblinoids frantically trying to attack the two men in the front of the wagon as they rode through the middle of the village. As the wagon began to speed away to the north, the party would then confront Jostin and Mangleball Lauren, the proprietor of Lauren Bakery, from there within the village of Red Larch. Believing them to be in league with the Zentarum, they began to interrogate them right in the middle of the town. Though unable to fully convince the villagers of the situation, they eventually gave the two men over to the local authorities to let them deal with it instead. From here, they would gather their supplies and board a wagon and head north themselves, their ultimate destination being the city of Yartar. Along the way, the party would come across a broken down old tower at the side of the road, sitting next to a lake. The roof collapsed in and several bloodhawks flying overhead, with a sad hill giant named Mog, who was upset that Chief Ga had stolen her husband, offering to come back soon and help to take her back to Groodhog. Mog would be a little more happy than before, though still not fully convinced that the party will come back to assist her. As they continued to go forward, they finally reached the village of Triboar, and it was here that they began to notice that things are really in a bad way in this village. The fears of giant attacks on the village were obviously the reason that they accompanied the men aboard the wagon. And as they approached, they found the village was in shambles. Massive magma-filled boulders smashed through several houses, buildings still on fire. The approach was greeted by a group of men to the northwest who were watching very carefully as the party headed towards town square, before the party noticed things to be even more out of place. As they approached, the villagers stood around and examined what appeared to be a large crater dug into the ground by a massive, giant-sized greatsword in the shape of a C. Next to the hole in the ground, a large 4-foot-long rod with 2 prongs on one end and a molded grip on the other. The villagers stood around whispering that something was missing. And that is where we begin tonight. All right.
Well, that's probably not good.
As you slowly wander closer, kind of listening into this, you begin to overhear a woman speaking, kind of very softly, almost under her breath as you pass by. She says, It was the Vanadad. That's what they came for. And as she says this, her young daughter looks up at her and kind of grabs onto her hand and tugs at it and says, "Mommy, what's a Vandad?" The woman kind of chuckles at the little girl and tries to make light of the situation before kneeling down to her and says, "You see, Ella, thousands of years ago, the dragons and the giants fought this great war here. And the giants built a magical being called a Vanadad. When the battle had ended, part of it had broken off and fell to the ground. It's been believed to have been buried beneath all the dirt for all these years. I guess the giants wanted it back."
And we heard all that?
Yeah. Assuming you kind of stood around just kind of looking and trying to see what's going on.
Why would the giants want... Are they planning on fighting the dragons?
Or using it as a weapon against the other giants.
I think they're just taking stuff from towns now.
Can I make a history check, Forge?
Sure.
Because like I'm making sure I can separate out of character knowledge.
Yep.
I almost spelled it right.
Specifically, this is about the giants and the dragons. How much Kilone would know?
Okay. Kilone would know quite a lot. She would understand that this battle between giants and dragons has gone on for centuries. It's seemingly never ending, though there are some lulls here and there with not much happening. Certain things obviously shift the balance between them. Based on your history check, you do recall some instances where the giants, some of the leadership of the giants themselves, like the actual leaders, felt they were not living up to their standards, that their tribes were not living up to their standards when Tiamat was trying to be brought back within the realm. And many of the leaders now believe that that was actually the real cause of the ordning being shattered.
Actually, Selja, giants and dragons have been fighting for a long time, well before humans even established kingdoms of their own here. And she goes into a tirade about all of that information. A very deep and educational rant.
So Selja's one working eye kind of mists over a little bit about halfway through the conversation as she just kind of listens, and it's like, oh, so the dragons are stealing, or the giants are stealing stuff to fight dragons, I guess.
They've always been fighting, but I think it's more of they think that if they stand up to the dragons or get into conflicts with them, it'll impress their god. That's just my theory, anyways. They hate each other is pretty much it. It's like my people in the Drow. We just don't like each other for reasons well beyond our understanding.
That's weird. Can't you just get along?
Yeah, like, us goblins get along with hobgoblins and bugbears.
You're all cousins. You don't like orcs, though.
Well, no, they're stupid.
Very
Actually,
stupid.
Not
Bugbears
an orc.
just work with y'all. We just hate everyone.
We hate everyone equally.
And even when we get to know him, we still hate him.
Mhm.
Yeah, they all stink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the spirit. So,
I mean, how can you stink that bad? You have to have walked through the rain at one point in your dirty, smelly life.
Maybe they think they melt if they are exposed to the rain.
I bet they
This-
would. They're
As
stupid.
Sylvia says this, Granko kind of looks down at his clothes that have not been washed, his body that has not been washed in this entire campaign. Kind of shrugs. I can see it happening.
oh, that's right. He didn't go take a bath with us in the last town.
Nope.
As this conversation is going on, see,
A
everybody
half
give
orc
me
walks by.
no, everybody give me a perception check.
Uh-oh.
It's so good to hear, except Tara.
Except, hey,
Hey, I showed up.
you showed up today. Nav kind of, obviously feeling a little on edge being in another village that's mostly humanoid. You're kind of, on guard, and you're kind of looking around, just kind of scoping everything out. And as you're doing so, your eyes drift a bit to the southwest. Down here you see a woman who kind of stands out. Kind of average height with long, kind of dark brown hair. She has a bit of a scar on her chin. She's watching you very, very closely as you're wandering through the town. As you're kind of watching, paying attention to her, she looks and her eyes kind of lock onto you and notices you paying attention to her, and she kind of quickly grabs onto her coat and adjusts it a bit and kind of clears her throat, and then decides she's going to come and walk up and speak to you.
As she's walking up, I'm going to turn towards her and kind of sit on all fours like a dog would. And just kind of stare her down as she's walking over.
Okay. As she begins to walk forward and she sees you kind of hunched down, this almost kind of aggressive pose, she slows down a little bit and then looks around kind of at everybody there, and she's like trying to figure out who's in charge, and says, well, who do I need to speak to here to get this one to calm down a bit?
I'm not uncalm.
Yeah, he's fine.
With that, Granko kind of turns around seeing her and looks over at the woman kind of looking at her sides and stuff and says, well, do you have any turkeys on you? That might make him a little excitable, but other than that, he seems pretty calm.
Oh, I'm going to nod vigorously. Yes, turkeys. Do we have any?
He's just really tall. He was trying to kneel down so that you would be less intimidated.
Yes, he's quite gentle once you get to know him. Unless you instigate him, which I don't think you are right now.
I wouldn't advise it.
She
Who are
kinda,
you?
She kind of shakes her head and says, no, of course I'm not trying to instigate anything here. My name is, I'm Lord Protector Darathra Shindro. Let me type that out for you. It's a mouthful.
That's a name.
You started on the name part, and I'm just sitting here about to write it down, going, what?
Darathra
As she says her name,
Shindel.
Crinkle
Shindro.
pipes up. Oh, Gesundheit!
She kind of looks at you, kind of furrows her eyebrows a little bit, and says, I watched you enter my village, though I was a bit curious because you didn't actually attack our people.
Why would we attack you?
She looks at Nav and then looks over at Lucas and Keelanay as to kind of say, really?
Well, you see, these goblins,
They're a very curious bunch.
yeah, they're curious and not hostile.
As you're talking to her...
Unless you piss them off.
Give me a perception check, Lucas.
I can try.
You can try. Holy hell, that was just what you needed. Just barely what you needed. As you're standing here and looking at her, you notice something kind of grabs your attention a bit. You see an emblem on her shoulder belt, a logo of sorts, a crescent moon with a harp hanging in the middle that strikes an eerie resemblance to the Harper's logo that you've seen in passing. It is this one here.
Now I gotta remember where I saw that.
Met Harper's?
Just in passing, he would have seen the logo or known them from throughout the realm, mostly because of his job.
Okay.
They're like ants. Once you get them somewhere, they're everywhere.
Can we just not do this? I'm going to be so confused between Monday and Wednesday.
Continuing timeline, man. Gotta keep up with
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we're after the timeline now.
it. You're in the future.
So
Is it the darkest timeline?
kind of seeing that, noticing Lucas's eyes kind of wander over to it, she kind of adjusts her shoulder belt a little bit and says, "Now, why are you guys here, might I ask?"
Truthfully, we were just passing through.
Yeah, it's kind of in the way. We have to go through here, unfortunately.
And Q&A gestures to the boy in the barrel.
On the cart.
As she does that, says, "Hey, we're taking him. Where are we going again?"
Far.
Yartar.
Something.
Yartar.
Yartar.
Oh yeah, Yartar. Yeah, the scrawny guy wants to go to Yartar.
She kind of looks around, sees the boy in the barrel, and a bit of an odd situation, but doesn't question it, just kind of looks at you and says, "Well, you've unfortunately came at a very inopportune time for us. As I'm sure you noticed when you came in, we are not doing quite so well ourselves here."
Indeed, looks like you have a giant problem.
It's more than just giants.
Oh really? What does it do? What else is here?
You see, we received a few reports of orc attacks down at the ranches to our southeast, so I tried to send some of my men there, some of my more experienced ones, to kind of head them off a bit, to Merry Meadow Ranch and Broken Yoke Ranch, to kind of ascertain the extent of danger and to kind of aid our ranchers there. However, it would appear that these attacks were just distractions for us. While my men were away, these fire giants attacked from the northeast, and despite our best efforts, we were unable to stop them. We lost a lot of men and women today. She kind of stops for a second and looks around and starts to point up towards the northeast and says, first it was the Aurochs, clad in their heavy plate mail. They came through and tore down fences and cleared away the rabble. The Aurochs spread through the town, killing the citizens along the way. And then the fire giants began to volley their boulders into the town. Once the orcs came riding a pack of axe beaks, it was a little too late. This is the image that she starts to describe, trying to get you to understand the attack of the orcs on the axe beaks. She kind of shakes her head a bit and says the orcs focused all of our forces, running distraction for the fire giants who immediately came in from the northeast. What was left was crushed underfoot, and fire giants destroyed anything that stood in their path before they made their way right here to the campground. By that time, most of the town folk had fled. I'm certain if you came from the south, you had seen them.
I don't think we saw anything.
You saw a lot of people leaving.
Oh wait, yeah, you meant the people, not the giants. Okay.
Yeah, the people running.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yes, we did. We probably should have directed them towards Goldenfield. They just fended off a giant attack as well.
We helped.
Goldenfield's made it out a lot better than you guys.
I think that might have been because we were there, but...
And she nods and says, not only that, but I'm sure you had a bit more significant forces to deal with an attack on the city of Goldenfields.
No, it just felt like us.
Well, there was those archers that stood back there. They
Couple
helped out a
of
little bit.
fireballs, and it wasn't really a big deal.
With that, you see Greco kind of like knocking dust off his shoulder. He's like, "Yeah, those are pretty good, weren't they?"
Until you ran out for the next fight.
Listen,
That is true.
my godly powers can only take us so far. You have to earn your right in this world by yourselves too.
Darathra kind of watches and kind of chuckles to herself listening to the conversation. And then she kind of peers up and begins looking back around the village again and just kind of shakes her head and says, well, yes, perhaps if you were here, you could have helped us and we would have had a much better time dealing with these fire giants. But it just, none of this makes sense. None of my contacts informed me that the fire giants were on their way. Nobody even knew they were attacking our land. I mean, I understand I may be a little bit out of the loop all the way over here, but fire giants hail from Iron Slag. If they made it here from the Slag, that means they've even outsmarted our people.
Do we know what this Iron Slag is?
Iron Slag is a mountainous region that the fire giants are known to be coming from, or known to have as their home.
Do we know where it is?
I imagine these attacks are coming as a surprise to everyone. It's not just one centralized force.
So let's go back here for a second, and I'll show you.
Oh, I should probably close. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's somewhere near the scar of the earth.
It is actually way up here.
Way up west or east?
Oh, way up northeast.
Way up northeast. So they basically, what
Jesus.
she is telling you is these fire giants have moved undetected from Iron Slag all the way to Triboar without bothering anything else.
As far as she knows.
As far as she knows, yes, because as she mentioned,
there's a lot of forests between the Iron Slag.
Yeah.
You figure someone would have noticed.
I mean, do we know that the stuff between here and there is still standing too? Given
no, you know, the only thing you know is what you have seen so far, and even as she kind of mentioned, she feels a bit out of the loop. She kind of mentioned that, yes, she's a little far out from, where the Harpers might send information to her. She's just doesn't understand why she didn't know of anything, like nothing from Iron Slag to there, like no appearances of fire giants on the move, and let alone this giant scepter that they had been carrying.
Well, that's what I mean. If they've been doing such a well-coordinated attack, there probably may not have been anyone to warn people.
Mm-hmm.
That or they
Damn, teleporting giant.
Because they're all dead.
Wow.
As you guys, begin to kind of think this over and start to remember where Iron Slag is, Darthra kind of looks over everybody and walks over to Lucas and hands him this small platinum badge bearing the Triboar insignias, the 3 charging boars that you saw on the banner as you came into the town. She kind of looks over the party and says, well, let's face it, my people need me here, and I need some understanding of this. Will you take this badge with you in your travels, and if you ever find your way into Everlund, visit the Danivar house and give this badge to the proprietor. He'll only speak freely should you show him this.
I will do so.
Danivar, Danivarr.
Who are we? Like, what's his interest?
Are you asking that in character?
Yeah.
To her? She kind of looks at you and then looks back at Lucas, and kind of says, I'm pretty certain that this one here knows exactly why I'm giving him this.
Yes.
Q&A gives him a very curious look.
Oh, I get it.
lean over to Selja.
Do you?
You do? What is it? I'm confused.
Of course. You don't get it?
No, yeah, no, I get it. Of course I do.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course.
Right.
And everybody
yeah.
gets it.
Right, everybody does. Nobody has lost it all.
Of course.
I'm glad.
You just have to get there.
Mm-hmm. So, as you know, you begin to talk to her, and or as the conversation with her slowly starts winding down, she's not very forthcoming with information. Lucas, you kind of knowing the Harpers a little bit, you believe that's because of their organization. She's trying to, again, she believes that she's a little out of the loop, so she's trying to get information, and she believes that perhaps you can help to get her that information and try to explain what the hell just happened to their city or their town.
Yeah.
So just wanted to make sure you understood that part of it.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, she kind of walks around, kind of surveying the damage, noticing some of the deaths of, you know, a few of the important people within the village, you know, some of the shop owners and innkeepers and stuff. As she's doing that, everybody give me another perception check.
To see all the NPCs we would have been playing.
I'm on a. Hey, that's a double-digit perception check.
That is. What are we missing? Oh, Rin's gone. Nav and Selja, you guys notice off to your northwest up here, the group of individuals that were watching very, very closely, the group of men kind of standing outside of the building, have kind of shifted a bit. And they, instead of standing over here, have slowly started making their way around. Find their way over and into this, what appears to be another campground, similar to what's here in front of you. And have walked over to several of the wagons, and a few of them keeping a very close eye on the party while the others are getting the wagons prepared. Kind of look over and just watch very, very closely.
I'm going to turn to Daratha Ra and ask her, while pointing just directly at the men, letting them know that I see them. You know those guys? Are they with you?
She looks over. Let me see here. Looking for a handout here. Hold on. I am missing my Triboar handout.
No.
There it is. I found it. Okay, I'm better now. She kind of looks over, noticing that Nav's not at all being, kind of secretive about it. Looks over and notices the group of individuals appearing to put together a caravan. And she looks back and says, "Oh, yes, that's if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Arn and Serene's men. They're merchants, and they sponsor a bunch of men for hire that can travel you from here to just about anywhere, though they primarily make paths from here to Waterdeep and on occasion here to Everlund."
Why do they keep staring at us?
She kind of...
Is your goblin?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's a bugbear.
Those are different people. Arn and Serene are the proprietors of the little horse stable up here. That is actually, I had the wrong name. Yurlam Stockspool. And yes, he runs the caravan company there, called the Triboar Travelers.
Sounds awfully Zentarum to me.
I can't think
I'm
every wagon
I'm gonna
is
reconnect
Zentarum.
real quick. I'm getting a lot of hiccups from Forge.
Okay.
Not everybody's a Zentarum, Nav. Just almost everybody.
It's true. Not everybody is Zentarum.
Just because they own a wagon. The last wagon wasn't fun, but still, it's fine.
They own a wagon and they transport stuff like they wanted us to do for them.
Those guys were shady. It's fine.
Actually, he's starting to make a lot of sense.
Darthra kind of looks at you. Her eyebrow kind of raises a little bit. But she doesn't seem to question it. She kind of looks and says, "I've kind of kept my eye on these guys for quite some time. Yes, I can understand why you might believe that they're possibly Zentarum. I once believed that myself, but I had no proof."
See, she gets it.
Should we go say hello to them?
Oh, probably not, but we will.
Okay, let's go.
Wait.
Why? Hold on.
If they attack us, tell everyone else that's in the village that we're on your side.
If you wait, what?
We're just gonna go say hi.
Yeah, we're gonna go say hi. If they attack us, you let everyone else in the village know not to attack us too.
Why would you attack these men? They have done
We're not
nothing to
going.
you.
We're not going to.
saying
We're just
hi.
gonna say hi, and then goblins and people go yeah, and then they try to stab us.
Yeah.
It happens. I don't hold it against humans. I will. Some goblins I want to stab too. And I have a stick.
Grinkle eyes the stick.
It's like, oh, her staff is like, it's just like a regular staff, but it has like a blue jay carved on top of it. It's pretty cool.
Don't stab me with it.
I wasn't gonna stab you with it.
Oh, good.
I'll stab you with it.
Selja pokes Grinkle with the staff.
All right, let's go say hi.
Okay, let's go say hi. I will walk over to. Said they're in this campsite, right?
Yeah, it's you. From what you can kind of gather from this, it's where it's kind of like a campground. When the caravans come through, and you can tell this place gets a lot of traffic because it's on two very major trade routes. So they get a lot of caravans that stop in here all the time. You can tell there's some wagons that are pulled up and they have tents beside them. Some have small families and things of that nature, but then there are these others who are eyeing the entire party and watching as you make your way through the town.
Yeah, I'll just walk up, kind of stopping at the fence there at the edge, looking over him and peering as best I can. How tall is the fence?
The fence is about 4.5 foot tall.
How tall am I?
Not 4.5 feet
Not
tall.
4.5 foot tall.
So, is there big enough space I could stick my head through the fence post?
You kind of look around at the fence and you see there's one of the legs of the fence posts is a little loose, and you feel you could grab onto it and kind of shove it and kind of stick your head between them.
Okay, so I do so, shoving it out of the way, looking directly at them, and reach, kind of squirm through my head or my arm and hand through very awkwardly, and just wave at these guys that are staring at us. Hey, why are you staring at us?
As you do this, give me a perception check. Okay. You look in and notice that it's not one or two individuals, but a group of almost 10 of them gathered around about 3 different wagons. One wagon looks eerily familiar.
Oh, does it?
On the back
Oh,
of the
does it?
wagon, it has a couple of very large barrels of ale sitting on it. As you're
Oh, really?
standing there, looking between this fence and peering through at these guys, you notice these guys look a little tougher than what you experienced before. They look pretty big and burly and willing to easily get into a fight with each and every one of you.
I could clearly see them
Let's
over
do
the
it.
fence, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
No. I'm
gonna lean over,
No, no, it's
kind of lean my arm on the fence and kind of put my weight on it and be like, guys, are y'all on a timeline? You got to get that beer moving.
As you say that, you glance up to the house up here. And 1 second, I've got to pull up my notes again.
Oh,
I'm missing
This
something.
is ridiculous.
I don't remember his name. I'm looking for a guy's name and I don't remember it. Panic.
Everyone dies to the side quest. Roll new characters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't fight them here. We will taunt them. fight them outside of town.
As you're watching, you see coming from the entryway 3 more individuals step out of that building. One of which is Lessler, the individual who is riding that wagon to begin with. The other 2, one appears to be a somewhat shady, older-looking businessman. He wears an eye patch, and the eye patch is emblazoned with a black serpent on it. As he walks out, he walks outside with a very kind of large and almost kind of grizzly-looking half-elf standing directly behind him, watching very intently. As Lessler steps out of the building and looks over to the party, his eyes become the size of pancakes, and he kind of taps back on the individual that he walked out with, and then points in your direction.
Hey, Forge.
Yes.
I got a name for this guy.
Who?
The eye patch dude.
You have a name for him?
Yes. We shall call him Subtle Snake.
Oh, God.
Subtle Snake.
Subtle's his middle name.
Mm-hmm.
So is what Leslie you said pointed at us?
Yeah, Lessler, the guy that was on the wagon with Justin, he walks out with who you can pretty reasonably believe to be Yurlam, the proprietor of the Caravan company.
Just wave back.
As
Smile
he
and
does,
wave, boys.
Yeah, Grakel's gonna shove his other arm through so he can wave both his hands. Hey, I remember you. Good to see you made it here all right.
Now I'm just gonna try and smile and wave back as hard as he can. Hey guys.
Oh, Grakel has a big ass shit-eating grin on his face.
Q&A's also going to poke her head over the fence and be like, "Oh, I remember you."
I'll just climbed on top of Nab's shoulders and is just enthusiastically waving at him.
Entire party is waving.
So yeah, on the other side, you see Yurlam and Lessler. They're kind of whispering back and forth. You notice that the group of guards that are kind of gathered over here by where all the other caravans are kind of huddled together, grabbing for their gear and weapons and such, and kind of watching very intently, looking back to where the party is, but not actually provoking you. You guys would be about here, I guess.
You left your friend in Red Larch.
The town has them.
I hope nothing bad's happening to him. That'd be a shame.
Remember your timetable.
Wait, where
They know who you are.
did Darithar go?
She
Probably
wandered.
ran.
She wandered as this is going on back into the main building here.
I'm gonna run over there after her and stick my head into the building and yell, "Yeah, they're definitely Zentarum. You don't have to wonder anymore." And then I'm just gonna shut the door and run back.
This is probably why people don't mind the 3 goblinoids. Because the way we behave, we're clearly too stupid to be a threat.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
So yeah, you notice that the guys on the caravan are getting everything prepped and just keeping an eye on you. Lessler starts making his way over, kind of walking around the entryway and making his way with the caravan leader and what you can reasonably believe to be his bodyguard, and kind of head over to the group of caravans and get everything prepared. But again, they're not moving on you. They're not, acting hostile towards you.
Yeah.
God help you if any of you needs to go to the bathroom. He won't let you do it.
He's not a fan of stopping. I hope nobody in this caravan's going near Yartar anytime soon, though. It'd be a shame if anything bad happened to you on the road.
Because of the giants and
Real
all.
shame.
Yeah, giants.
Yeah,
Gods.
giants.
Giants.
Yeah,
Definitely the giants.
And orcs. We heard something about orcs, too. It'd be a shame if anything happened to your caravan.
That's just the way he talks. He actually means it.
Turns to the soldier. Wait, I didn't sound like I was being
Just
truthful.
watch out for that guy. He's really prone to leaving people behind.
Yeah, it's kind of rude.
He said something about dead weight and selling you out to the big Z, if you know what I mean.
Turns towards Killinay. Did he say that?
Give me
Yes,
a
he did.
deception check.
Probably.
Give me
Yeah,
a
hold on,
deception check.
Let me pull that up.
Yeah, we're just echoing this poor guy.
Great.
Big money,
This is
big
what
money,
happens
no
when
whammy.
Stowe's not here. We start
We just-
heckling enemies
Damn.
instead.
Aww.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, come on.
As you're saying that, you watch as Lessler makes his way around and joins up to him. And hears you shouting out something about dead weight, and he kind of looks over to the six of you and says, "Oh no, that was just you."
I
Yeah.
mean,
Us? No.
I mean, you were the one who ran away. I recall you like clinging for dear life onto a horse as you abandoned your friend. Kind of cowardly.
You just left them there. I would never do that to my friends.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Aw, Nav.
Wait.
Oh, Nav.
Look around at the rest of the group. When did y'all become his friends?
That's what I was wondering.
I mean,
We bonded over turkey.
I've always
That'll
been
do
his
it.
friend. I mean, goblins and bugbears are always friends.
I never said I was talking about y'all.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Just,
I never said I wasn't.
Just leaving it. for
stop
sure.
playing with my emotions, Nav.
With that, seeing them clearly not taking the bait, Grankle's kind of shrug and say, "Okay, well, hope you have safe travels wherever you're going." And I'll start walking back towards the center of town. I want to go over and actually look at this crater a little bit more.
Yeah, I
Okay.
also want to take a look at the crater.
All right. So let's see. Da, 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 da.
It's a crater. There you go.
It's a crater. I'm looking for the details on it. Hold on.
I'm gonna look over at Dav and say, kind of point towards the caravan in the center and stuff, and say, keep an eye on them. See which way they take off to if they leave in the next few minutes, just in case.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So as you're kind of looking this over, to be honest, there's you're noticing again, as I kind of described the first time, you notice there's tons of wagons and dead horses that kind of lie all around the ground. Blood kind of splattered everywhere, and several dead bodies and such, including the proprietor of the campground here. You do see the 4 foot long, weird looking kind of long rod that's often lies in the grass off to the kind of northeast or eastern part of the campground there. Other than that, just the people kind of gathered around, and the very large crater with the kind of bent giant greatsword laying off to the ground beside it. Nobody's really messed with anything yet.
I would like to look over at the rod and cast Detect Magic.
Okay. It lights up like the sun.
Ooh, shiny. I'm gonna walk over and pick it up.
The rod measures 4 foot long, weighs 100 pounds, and is sized to comfortably fit in a giant's hand.
I'm gonna walk over and pick it up.
Yeah, I'm like, just making that fit up. It's a little big.
DM.
Mm-hmm.
Could I use nature to determine, like, how big of a thing they dug up?
Sure.
Nice.
It is so the center of this kind of area that you're standing around, where this massive crater is. When I say massive, it's about I don't know, about 10 feet in length from top to bottom. It kind of wraps around, like I said, it forms into the shape of a C, and it's about probably almost close to a foot thick all the way around, is how big the crater is. It's been kind of dug out of here, and it's kind of recessed. It's recessed almost, I don't know, about 6 or 7 feet down into the ground. The crater is, before they finally stopped and pulled out whatever it was that they grabbed.
So is this rod I'm holding part of what they grabbed?
Can't reasonably make that assumption, no.
Can I examine it as Nav holds it with my Arcana skills?
Sure. What are you trying to find out on it?
The nature, like whatever magic is lighting up for me with my detect magic.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, so as you kind of look at this rod, you notice that it has several runes kind of marked across the kind of molded handle grip. And then it has the 2 kind of long prongs at the end of it that have, again, kind of runes that kind of write up along the edges of it. You notice that the runes are actually something very familiar to you. It's a locate object spell that's kind of written on it. And all of the phrasing and stuff matches pretty similar to what you've come to experience for that spell anyways.
So the crater's 10 feet wide, and it goes down 7 feet.
Yes.
That could be useful. Put it in the bag, Nev.
It's 4
Will
foot
it
long.
fit in the bag?
Here, hand it to me.
Okay, I'm gonna hand it to him.
In the bag of holding.
He's a wizard!
What sorcery is this?
How big is the opening on the bag of holding? It's pretty big, right?
I mean,
2 by 2 feet.
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
that should. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. It's 4 foot long, and it's a rod. So sure, yeah.
I mean,
you can
if
fit it
it's-
in the
if
bag of
it's-
holding.
bigger than a 2 by 2 rod. It's 4 feet long. That sucker's
Yeah, you should be able to fit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the actual rod itself. It's the ends of it, the 2-prong end that would be keeping it from going in. But yes, it does fit.
okay. Yeah.
Because, yeah, it has the 2 prongs kind of at the end of it that kind of separate out a little bit and would make it a little difficult. But, yeah, it does go.
Just wiggle it in there a bit.
Yeah. You kind of feel the bag stretch a little as you're pushing it in. The people watch in awe as you're stuffing this 4 foot long rod into a 2 by 2 bag.
And it just disappears.
And
as
it just
goes in.
disappears, and you're carrying it around like it's nothing. What is the carry weight? The carry weight's
Crap.
pretty high,
It's
right?
2,000 pounds. or
Yeah, it's
something.
pretty high.
No, not bag of beans. Roughly 2 feet in diameter at the mouth and 4 feet deep. 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet.
No, 500. Lower than I thought.
Yeah. But yeah,
And I think
so it fits.
there's better versions of it.
Yeah, there are. That's just like the entry level bag of holding.
That's the basic, unmodified bag of
We
holding.
have a wagon too. If it doesn't fit, we'll just toss it on the wagon.
Can. It's true. But it does fit, so.
Man, this is some serious first world adventuring problems right here. Man, I wish my interdimensional space that let me carry 500 pounds of weight with like no effort,
Mhm.
which is better. Okay, so just gonna be like, so they dug pretty deep, like 7 feet. That's pretty deep. I mean, it's like twice my height, and they dug around a lot. Whatever it was heavy because I think they broke their sword on it.
As she's saying that, I kind of point at the rod and say, that just disappeared in the bag. So they probably use that to find it. It can find items as long as you know what the item is. I think it'd be much help to us to find it, but they probably used it.
Anybody experienced with any kind of like weaponsmithing in this group?
I mean, I swing them occasionally.
I mean, I know how to use them.
Nope, the dwarf is not here.
If
Making
you
them
look
not
at
so
my
much.
weapon, it's just like 2 axes taped to a pole to make
It's
a
true.
halberd.
That's true. Yeah, there wouldn't be a way that you could really get any more information off this.
Could ask Carson to see if he knows.
Let me
Carson
look.
might know.
Let me
He is a
look.
dwarf.
He's a dwarf. They make
He
things.
is a
That's
dwarf.
racist.
No.
That's not as racist as
Question
everyone
marks?
in the town.
Is
thinking
there
we're gonna
is there
attack them.
any giant written on it? You said there was marked an object, but was there any?
No, there's no giant anything written giant language written on it.
All right, well that was my lead.
Yeah. And Karsnook has alchemist supplies, and that's it. So no, he would know nothing about that either.
What?
Hashtag worst dwarf ever.
Wow.
Let's get a new dwarf.
Let's get a new
I mean,
dwarf.
maybe if you paid him, he could have got some more stuff. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Maybe the town has a blacksmith that we could talk to about this sword.
It might have
Are
had
you-
one at one time.
Are you asking somebody that question?
No, I was more just stating a fact.
Okay.
Is there anybody close?
There are a few from where you. I'm gonna assume you kind of made your way back over towards the campground again.
You could ask the Zentarum guys; they seem nice.
Let me
Are they still there?
I've been
see.
supposedly watching them.
Somebody give me a perception check at disadvantage.
Not me.
Oh,
Damn.
Don't want me to do it.
I think we actually wanted Selja to do it.
Yeah, I think you guys did want me to do it.
Probably.
I know I have a high modifier, but I think
Go ahead. I
Selja
mean,
was
anybody that
higher.
wants to.
I've
Okay.
beaten you all.
I mean, if the
I mean,
dice
hey,
gods are
that's a
smiling
better
upon
that's a
me-
better disadvantage. Yes.
Yeah, we're not.
From-
We're not even gonna roll again.
From where you stand,
Oh, dang it.
Selja, you can look up as you look up towards the northwest or northeast there, down towards the end of the road, kind of leading out of the village, going up the long road, you do see a house on the left-hand side that has kind of smoke billowing from it. One of the very few houses that hasn't been touched yet. The smoke is a very, very, it's very indicative of a very hot fire that you could probably assume to be a weaponsmith of some sort, or at least a forge of some sort.
Nav,
What?
grab the sword.
I will grab the sword. What do you want me to do with it?
Zelja jumps on his shoulder again and then points to the building with the smoke coming out.
Is this sword something I can carry? Normal sword.
It is a giant-sized greatsword, so you'd have to pick it up with two hands, and you could only carry it. You wouldn't be able to do really anything else with it.
Okay. All right. We'll carry it down there. Lead the way.
Okay. So yeah, you make your way down here. As you begin to approach the outside of the building, I'm trying to figure out his name here. Gelrin, a dwarf named Gelrin Fohammer, makes his way out of.
See, we just needed to find a better dwarf.
You need to find a better dwarf. Makes his way outside, kind of, wiping his brow off. You could tell he's been working frantically and sees you guys approaching. Nav carrying this bent giant's greatsword as you begin to approach him.
As we come up to him, I'm going to hold the sword up. Master Dwarf, I think you left your sword.
No, it's a giant sword, Nav.
Would it be mine? Why would I have a... what can I do for you?
Me, Nav just carrying. We want to know how heavy something would have to be to bend a sword like this.
He kind of looks it over for a minute and thinks and then stops and he says, well, that's kind of a trick question, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. If you find the right amount of adamantium, you could probably, or adamantite, you could probably bend a sword in no time, or at least break it.
Oh, well, okay, so the Giants dug something out with this. And I just want to know what sort of thing, like what kind of, like, adamantite, she absolutely says that wrong. Like, if it's that, then they had to dig like 7 feet down to dig it out.
He kind of looks at you and says, if it's adamantine, it would have just given on its own, especially if they made a hard impact to it. It would make sense that the sword would buckle under the pressure of the impact, especially if there's a massive individual kind of jabbing the sword into the ground, trying to use. I'm guessing you're saying it's being used as a shovel?
Yeah. Haven't you seen the big crater in the middle of town?
Yeah, they left a big hole back there.
He kind of shakes his head and says, no, I keep to my work. I don't pay attention to any of this nonsense in the village.
The giant?
Nav, we're not gonna fight this one.
Okay. If he wants to die, I guess he'll die.
So, you think whatever it was could have been a really heavy metal?
Very heavy or very strong, one or the other.
Oh. Okay. Would you got a little tongue-tied there. Have you been in the town long?
Let me find his card here, one sec. He kind of looks at you a bit and kind of nods and says, I've been here for a very long time. To be honest, I just want to focus on my work. This giant attack. Yes, I am aware of the attack, but I hate them with a fervor that you couldn't believe. I just want to get my men equipped and ready to go after these individuals after everything they've done.
Oh. Are there more dwarves around? Or do you mean like other townsfolk?
He kind of looks at you and says, yes, the latter.
Oh, well, you probably should just arm them to defend the town, because giants are pretty tough.
You kind of get the impression that's basically what he's talking about. He, as he mentioned, he's trying to equip people for it. You could tell that by kind of the sternness on his face, and like he's just angry. He's angry that these giants and these orcs have came into his village, and all he wants is revenge at this point, because this is his home, and he hates the fact that these people are even here. Are these giants? Yeah, that they're even in.
People too, Forge.
No, giants are giants. Giants are giants. They're not humanoids.
Not a humanoid. I learned that.
Very clear distinction between the two.
Seeing the look on his face, Mav's gonna be like, well, I guess you probably need this sword then. Do you want it?
He kind of looks at it and kind of frowns a little bit, knowing that there's no way he's carrying it, and he just kind of points to the side of the building. Just put it over there. I'll deal with that later.
Can I try and throw it over there?
To the side of the building? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Strength check at disadvantage.
Oh, it's that heavy?
It's a giant's great sword.
Yeah,
you do so pretty easily.
I was going to say I'm powerful built.
Yeah, it's true.
No, that was a stealth check. Whoops.
Oops. Although you did a really good job of hiding the fact that you were going to throw it.
Close.
Yeah, you throw it, but it just kind of topples to the ground. With Selja on your back, kind of throws you off balance a little bit, and you just kind of go to hurl it, and it kind of rolls off your fingertips and kind of crashes to the ground. No harm, no foul, but he just kind of watches.
I mean, it was a good effort, Nev.
And he kind of looks at you and says, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna get back to my work. I just gotta get my people prepared.
I have something else.
Oh.
Do you have any armor in there?
Yeah, he has a few sets of armor. It's mostly just kind of basic stuff. It's nothing special.
So he's not going to be rocking any half plate in there?
He'd probably have half plate. I mean, he is a dwarf after all. But I'm just saying, like, you're not going to find like magical kind of stuff. You know, you can find pretty decent gear though. This is a pretty big trade port for them. So,
if he has some half plate, I'd like to buy some half plate while we're here. I'll just have Selja count out my share of Gronkle's money.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So yeah, find out how much, and yeah, you can gladly pay him the money, and he will get it to you. And you wouldn't have to wait for it. He has what's that? What was that? Yeah.
It's pretty expensive.
But as
we have the money, right?
He kind of waves you in, and as you enter into the room, like it's a T-shaped building, and on the left side, like over here, it's where all the forge stuff is, and then over on this side he has like a shop built into the home itself. So yeah, you kind of browse through, and yeah, you could definitely pick out a half plate if you're wanting to do that.
Just came back from AFK. Did we talk to him about selling the scrap adamantine at all?
It's the sword itself wasn't adamantine. He mentioned that because Selja asked what would make a great sword like that bend or kind of break in the way it did, and he mentioned that it would have to be something that was very, very heavy, or something that was very, very durable or very strong that would have caused it to break. And that's where he mentioned
Gotcha.
adamantine.
He was hypothetically speaking. Gotcha.
Correct. Yeah, he was mentioning, it could have been, a single plate of adamantine, and if they struck it just right, it would, crumple the sword. Where it doesn't have to be something massive for it to break a sword.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think he wants the half plate. How much for that?
How much is
It's 750 bucks.
Yeah.
It's 750.
Yeah, he just charges normal rates. He doesn't try to get extra money out of it. He's just selling what he has.
Will he buy my scale mill for normal rate?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right, cool. So it'll be 705 gold missing when I get back, Rankle.
I don't think we have 700.
No, it'll just be 700. We don't have 700 gold?
Hey, Lucas. How much money you got in the bag?
I mean,
I swear we pulled like 700 out of that one place.
I don't know. I gave all the money to Lucas, so he's well, not all.
Oh.
Most.
Lucas is the treasurer.
I didn't know
Got the bag of
you
holding.
transferred.
Yeah, I transferred all the money over to him because he had the bag of holding, so we weren't having to carry it. So we're
I don't
sending
have
it
access to your loot, so I can't help you.
I think he might be AFK, which is super unfortunate.
Well,
that is.
then we'll just go on the stipulation if we have the money, then I'll get it. If it'll make us broke, then I won't, because I'm not spending everyone else's money.
Let me see what Lucas has. It's almost like I have access to his page.
well, first of all, that's invasion of privacy, sir.
He's the DM. There is no privacy.
There is no privacy.
That's good.
That is super unfortunate because he has 88 gold.
He can't be.
I've been muted.
I
I've been
don't-
muted. I've been yelling at y'all. How the
All right.
hell do you have? What is costing 700 gold?
He's buying half plate,
750 gold.
wanting to buy half plate.
Made of what?
Right,
Half
that's what
plate
it
material?
costs.
Base half plate, just
Yeah, it's just
steel or
expensive.
yeah.
I
Wizards
have
of
nowhere
the
near
Coast is
enough.
notorious for being really inflated and giving it.
Okay, yeah, if we don't have enough, that's fine. No, we'll just
Give
not
me-
do that. Right
where's-
now.
Not even.
We're gonna have to go make some money. I thought we had plenty of gold. We kept
Uh,
it all.
You have an awful lot of promissory money coming to you based on various tasks that you could complete, but you haven't completed
Oh,
shit
yeah.
of
Do
those
some
yet.
quests, probably.
That
haven't
noble kid,
com-
that noble kid is gonna owe us a lot of money, and Yartar is probably a better city to go shopping in.
Yeah, with that, Greg will just kind of tap him on or pat him on the back, and say, "We'll get you with some half plate. It'll be fine. Just give us a little time to kind of motion back to the wagon where
I really thought we were ballers, Shell. I'm
Arton
disappointed in
Not
us.
yet.
is riding.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
We own it.
Artan
We own it.
and
Own a
Carson.
tavern.
Oh, that's because it's.
Ooh,
Oh.
Yeah, let's give him the deed for the tavern for my
No.
That's an investment. Yeah. We'll get more money out of it in the long run.
I really want you to try to explain to Nav what an investment is.
Promissory game. No big deal. Don't worry, I got this on lock.
Everybody give me a perception check.
This is always good.
Well, I'm talking-
Actually, Nav. So where is everybody?
I know
So
Nav and
Nav-
Selja
Nav
over by
and,
the dwarf.
Nav and Selger by the dwarf. Everybody
I went
else
outside to
is.
talk to Lucas.
Is everybody else still at the campground? Or did everybody
know.
follow?
I would have went with them to the forge just because Nav went. Probably needed money.
Okay. So you guys are up here. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
I'll
Good to
stay
know.
down there.
What did I perceive?
Nothing.
Nothing right now.
Alright.
Well, all right. Well, we can't afford this, so should we go snoop around
Island?
town?
I was gonna say we just probably pile into the wagon and leave.
What time of day is it at this point?
It's evening time. It's about I don't know. It's about 8 bells in the evening. It's kind of raining a little bit. It's making everything a bit miserable, but it's helping to put out some of the fires in the town, so that's always a plus.
I mean,
That helps.
overall, silver lining, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't really want to camp in town since it is getting late, but we probably need to camp at some point soon. But we have some friends in here that may not like us being too near them, and I don't want them to have the drop on us. So, should we take a quick look around town, see if anything else pops up for us, and if not, head off to the east a little bit and then make camp?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Although I suspect we probably have plumbed the town for everything we're gonna get.
I
Maybe.
think we should go back and see if our friends have left yet.
Probably. See if they're still here or not.
Yerp.
All right, so we'll head back to the town center.
Okay. So as you make your way back to the town center, Selja and Nav, you do notice that your friends have abandoned you, and they are not there anymore.
Oh, well. I'm gonna go change the kids' water.
I think he's getting fresh water from the rain, honestly.
Oh yeah, but you still gotta dump the water out, otherwise it's just gross Aboleth water.
As you start to get a little closer, you're trying to figure out what you're going to do for the night. From here, you can see up this kind of small road up ahead, the house way over here. You can see a sign that appears to be an inn over there if you wanted to kind of camp out for the night on the... let's see. There's not much else. Selja, give me a nature check.
Oh, I'm questionably good at those.
Selja, you do notice a set of tracks that are new since the rain has started. The tracks lead from the Caravan campground here and make their way along the road here, heading off to the southeast.
Somebody,
Which is the same direction we would be headed, correct?
Yes.
somebody took a walk from the caravan, and they didn't come back.
Are they like tracks, like footprints? Or are they like wagon tracks? Are they a multitude of both of those?
It's both, and it's not just one, but it's several wagons.
I'm going to amend what I said a second ago. They went that way.
They went that way.
That way.
Is that the way we are also going?
Uh-huh.
This
Big
should be
shit-eating
fun.
grin is back.
Well,
So, are we gonna go after them, or
I mean,
why?
we're going
I don't know, I was just
after them,
curious.
but we're not going after them.
We're just going behind them and probably
Ultimately.
following into an ambush.
directionally adjacent? Got it.
Hold up. Let me see what Grinkle says.
Oh no. Oh
yeah.
no.
Grinkle's like, we could head off tonight. It's only slightly miserable out here. We could go in their general direction. We have to head that way anyway.
So, just so you're aware, you've been traveling for a while. If you continue, I'm pretty sure you know that you're kind of getting to that point where exhaustion's going to start setting in before long.
We should probably sleep.
Nobody has said anything about wanting to stop yet. Not since Red Larch.
Yeah, we just discussed setting up camp a second ago.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Before we decided
But,
that.
yeah,
hey,
before that,
we
yeah.
Go visit them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fine. My feet were starting to hurt anyway.
You're riding in a cart.
The cart is very uncomfortable.
Why are you standing?
I don't know.
Oh. I got nothing for that.
We should just set up camp right here.
That I kind of look at the rain. Does it seem like the sky's gonna clear anytime soon?
It just seems like just kind of an overcast night. It looks like it's gonna just be this slow, steady downpour for the remainder of the evening.
Or we could, and follow me here, we could go to that inn on the east side of town and get a roof over our heads, maybe.
I don't really like inns. They're full of people, and they're weird.
You could go up to the room and go to sleep. It'll be fine.
They might have turkey.
They might have turkey.
Turkey. All right, let's go to the inn.
We should probably drag our barrel child.
He has a name. It is Arten Rizzolio.
He's
Barrel
already wet,
child.
and he's not going to be sleeping, so we might as well just leave him outside the
I
inn.
don't want to leave him out when there's Zents around.
What are
That's
they going
fair,
to do
dude.
with him? They weren't even concerned about dropping him off to get healthy.
At this
Yes,
point, it's
but-
probably just to annoy us.
Also, he's a noble. He's easily ransomable. Ransomable.
And he's going to pay us, so...
It's in our best interest to keep him safe if we ever want to get paid.
Yes! Yeah, we'll head off to the inn, head inside, and Nav, you can bring Arten in with his barrel.
And then you may harass the staff for a turkey.
Yeah, we're going to do all that. We're going to sleep.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So they offer you a couple of rooms if you want them. Kind of being a packed house with so many of the villagers now being without a place to stay because their houses were destroyed. The rent for the night is super expensive at 1 gold per room. But they can offer you a couple rooms if you so choose.
Yeah, I think we could fit all of us in 2 rooms.
Well, I don't necessarily need one if space is an issue.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Me and Nav will sleep on the floor anyway.
It's much
Okay.
more comfortable.
I don't think beds are comfortable anyhow.
I'll take a bed.
Half of us don't care about beds, so it's fine.
This is
Goblin
fine.
slumber party.
Yeah, I'll offer up the 2 gold needed for the stay.
Okay. And yeah, they have plenty of food and stuff. You guys can kind of, as you make your way into the inn, like I said, it's pretty packed in here. There are a lot of people here that no longer have homes, and they're here just looking to have a roof over their head and have something to eat for the evening before trying to set back out and kind of fix everything that's broken in the town. But beyond that, yeah, you can settle in. The people look at you a little funny, obviously, like everybody has so far. But beyond that, it's pretty easy going kind of night. Nothing really occurs, nothing to speak of. You just kind of camp out for the night with Aboleth Boy having his nightly struggles of trying to sleep with this disease as he's staying in a barrel. And everybody else just kind of doing their own thing. With that, though, you wake up in the morning. Everything seems pretty much in order. You notice that most of the inn is kind of cleared out. Cleared out pretty early. A couple of you waking up almost at sunrise And as you kind of walk down the stairs from your room, you notice that there's almost nobody left, giving you a good sense that everybody is just trying to get back to normal. The people in the village immediately returning to their homes, kind of, nailing up the holes in any of their walls and stuff, and nailing up or patching up the roofs and fixing fences, and just trying to mend things. Are you planning on heading straight out from here toward Yartar?
Yes.
I think that's our best bet. We should definitely dump the kid before we try anything dangerous.
Okay.
We should try to complete one of these side quests.
At least one, right?
Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
some.
but just roll the child.
If they only
I bet
knew
you
this
it
wasn't a
leads to
side
another
quest.
side quest.
Listen, that's fine as long as we turn one in.
It's,
Yeah, as long as we get paid for something,
It's still
fine.
it humors me a lot that you think you're finishing a side quest.
You don't know.
Oh, I
We're
know.
finishing a part of it. I assume the next part is we have to figure out
technically-
what the hell went on.
Technically, again, you did finish a side quest. You just
I mean,
did
like,
kind
abandoning
of
it
bad
isn't
things.
Yeah, we definitely brought up the quest log and hit abandon.
You're
Don't like what this is going to do to my morale points. So let's go
Yeah.
ahead and do this quest.
Yeah.
It's the same button to abandon the quest as it is to hit the will.
All right. So you make your way along Evermore Way, which extends from Triboar to Yartar, which is Yartar, which is a somewhat ancient road, very well traveled, mostly because Yartar is a very popular trade port that's set inland. As you begin to make your way towards Yartar, you approach from the far west to a very large kind of fortified city that stands on the eastern bank of the Dasaran River. On the western bank, a walled citadel under the city's control kind of monitors people coming and going from within the actual city itself. Between them stretches a very wide stone bridge, and upon approach, you notice that the travelers coming into the city are moving through the citadel, through the inspection point, in order to continue anywhere from Yartar, even if it's going north or over east along the Evermore Way. Speaking of, the Evermore Way does cut through the heart of Yartar, and it connects the city's western and eastern gates together. Each of the east of the city is the trade route that continues on, but it slowly turns into gravel the further you get outside of the city. Yartar is a quite prosperous place, to be honest. A lot of the older buildings have been torn down for much bigger and taller new ones, some 4 stories high in different cases. Because the city is a major river port, Yartar's elected official here is known as a water baron, which is evident based on the sign that you see as you approach the city, revealing some information, including the current water baron, whose name is Nestra Ruthiel, and that Yartar is a member of the Lord's Alliance. And I will give you that name.
Oops. That's pretty
And
close.
close. And with that, welcome to Yartar.
It's so big.
That's what she said. So yeah,
All right.
wait, where did we come from? Where do we go?
You're in the far west over here. As you're approaching, you're waiting in line. You're noticing, you can see here, several wagons and such are waiting to pass inspection before crossing the gate here to cross the bridge to enter into the actual city proper.
Okay. So as we're standing in line, I'll kind of hop up on the wagon up next to Arton and say, "All right, so we're here. Do you know somewhere we can take you to get healed, or do we take you to your family?"
As you ask Artan this, he's kind of been perked up and lively since getting much closer to his home. He says, "No, once we get past inspection, we'll go to my home, and then you can drop me off there, and then hopefully I can get somebody that's going to be able to help me very quickly."
You skipped the part about the reward.
No.
Did you forget about that?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't forget about your reward. Don't worry, you've brought me all the way here. I can assure you that my mother will pay handsomely for it.
And we've kept you safe and in excessive comfort.
Do you know what kind of water you're in? That's luxury druid water.
Purified.
I can't just snap my fingers and make that, and the second she snaps her fingers, like a bunch of water just falls right next to her and she says, "Ignore that."
Well, except for that one time.
That was just, that's how druid sneeze.
As the line begins to move, what layer is that? Oh, okay, it's on the wrong layer. That's why. Let's fix that. I gotta put that on token layer. That way you can interact with it. Your token.
Oh, okay.
So I was like trying to move it, and I clicked to move it, and I was like, "Oh, it's not moving. Why is it not moving?"
Oh, this dragon I'm about to hit you guys with. No, it's not going anywhere. It's so weird.
Massive dragon that's flying over the city.
All right, so we're gonna have to declare a barrel boy.
So as you continue just waiting in line, very patiently, just kind of keeping up with the wagons in front of you, you peer up ahead, and almost just right at the entryway, you see a few of the wagons going through, and Lessler, the head of one of the wagons, looks back, giving you a rather obscene gesture as the wagon passes through the gatehouse and crosses across the bridge.
I hate that guy.
Selja moons him.
As you get all the way, finally making your way up to the guardhouse, the guards quickly walk up, kind of looking over the wagon and the group within it, and says, "What is your business here?"
Oh, hello. I'm Kilene. I'm a representative of the Emerald Enclave, and these are my companions. Also, just between you and me, and she leans closer, I think this one's a Harper. And she gestures over. Just a thought.
Oh, to Lucas.
Yeah, over to Lucas. She's not so subtly, just, I think he might be a Harper. My goblin companions here are perfectly friendly and housebroken, I assure you. Also, we have this young gentleman here that we are bringing back to his family.
As you say that, they kind of look around, and then they look back to the barrel and see young Artan Rosolio, and kind of grin and just shake their head. They don't seem to want to question it. It's just for whatever reason they're not too concerned. They look around and say, "Very well. Will you agree to submitting to an inspection then?"
Insight. I trust everything they're saying.
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
Yes, but
Oh,
you said
they grinned, and it was just the way they were acting. They seemed suspicious.
Oh no, they don't seem suspicious. They're chuckling to themselves as they see him in this barrel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. So
Does it
they
seem
seemed
like
suspicious, like it was like, hoo, we got this little punk now. Yeah.
Does it seem like they recognize Arton?
Oh yeah, he's part of a noble family here in the village, and they do recognize him.
Okay.
We lost Nav.
Yeah, his internet might have died.
Okay. So yeah, with that again, he kind of looks at you and just confirms that you are agreeing to the inspection.
Selja gives him a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah, we have nothing to hide, right?
Selja eats all the fruits that she brought really quickly.
Those special fruits.
No, just oranges.
So yeah, you submit to the inspection, and everything goes accordingly. You're not really sure what they're looking for. They're just looking for things, and as they continue to search, the lead guard here at the gate just kind of waves and says, "No, this one's fine," and kind of motions for Karsnook to pull the cart forward and head into town. As you enter, and you're kind of whisked away by Artan, who's kind of pointing like feverishly, telling you which direction to go and what paths to take to get to his home the fastest. You find yourself going all the way through most of downtown. Everything is very populated. You're noticing as you're kind of passing through, there are tons of, stands just set on the side of the road. People selling everything from clothing to armor to weapons to fruit to just about everything. And as you're kind of passing through, he starts guiding you, and you notice he's taking you way, way outside of the downtown part of the town or the city, and takes you way to the back to this somewhat fairly nice looking old 2-story home. Very, very large and kind of fenced in and somewhat foreboding. As you pass by the outer walls of this residence and you begin to approach, you notice very quickly that this just reeks of wealth and power.
Whoa, fancy.
Selja's super excited in character. Out of character, we are so going to get shafted on this payment. These guys aren't going to give us a goddamn dime.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You kind of wait, and Artan tries quickly to climb out of the barrel, now knowing that he's close enough to home, and after having the Lesser Restoration spell cast on him, he knows he has a bit of time before he has to be concerned again, and quickly jumps out of the barrel and kind of runs straight towards the doorway. The guards at the front gate just letting him go by as you continue to walk in behind him. Inside the manor, it is lavish. You wave at the guards.
I'm actually going to ask the guards a question.
Okay.
So, how many times has he come running back home after going missing?
But ass naked, too.
I think we gave him a shirt, didn't we?
You gave him a shirt, yeah. It was a very...
But is he wearing it?
No. He's not.
So-
They kind of look at you.
I gave him my cloak, right? Now I remember.
Yes. They kind of look at you, and both of them look at one another and kind of shake their head. No, this has never happened before in our lives. And they kind of laugh to each other.
Zelda laughs too. We're laughing.
As you make your way inside the manor, it is decorated with very lavish paintings, tapestries, busts, and statues. The floors are polished mahogany, where in spots where they aren't covered by massive carpets, and very gaudy chandeliers hang from the very high ceiling in this main entry. As you're looking around the manor, you take quick note of at least a dozen guards walking around through the facility. When you arrive, you are greeted by an individual who introduced himself as Kimid, rather unassuming looking butler of the family. I'll give you his name. He greets the young master as he rushes by with a very kind of calm politeness, but the kid just keeps running, just running straight for what you now believe to be his parents, or his parent, to speak with one of his family members. And the butler kind of motions for you and begins to accompany you. He kind of walks you upstairs towards the back of the building, and it's here that he kind of opens the door, leading you directly into Lady Desia's main office. Lady Desia, and I'll give you her name. That way you can get that too. The woman, looking rather busy, has already turned to look at her son, who stands completely naked in her office, the water kind of dripping from his skin. Scowl kind of crosses her face as she looks him over kind of from head to toe and just kind of shakes her head a bit. You get the sense that she is the head of the household here. Dresses very sharply, very fine kind of feminine details and features to her face. Very elegant looking, but also a bit older. She keeps her hair kind of pulled back into a bun, kind of stylish and very, you could tell she's very proper and well off. She watches and sees the boy, and then kind of sees the party and says, "Where have you been, you foolish boy?" No, I don't even want an answer for that question. I will not tolerate your presence while you are standing here naked in front of me. You look horrid. Just go get yourself a bath and some clean clothes, and then we'll talk. And he watches. Artan kind of bows his head very quietly, doesn't say anything, and immediately rushes out of the room without saying anything. Desia then turns her attention to you and says, Now that he's gone, where has he been? What happened to my son? And what are you doing with him?"
So, in order, in a cocoon by the river, way down the river.
What do
And
you
with that,
mean
What
down
was the second
the
question
river?
again?
Draco's gonna reach up and just clap a hand over Selja's mouth and walk forward in front of the group. I take my be quiet. I'll walk forward and kind of my singed cloak that I wear has burn marks all over it. I'll kind of flourish it back and bow to her and say, "Well, we found him in a bit of a predicament. He was floating down the river in this cocoon, and we decided to see what it was, and we found your son there. He seems to be in a bit of a plight. You see, he was infected," and kind of turn towards Selja. "What was it again?" I'm not holding my hand over your mouth.
Oh, okay. He got stung by an aboleth, and now if he doesn't stay in the water every hour or so, he'll, die.
He's like, "Oh yeah, an aboleth. Yeah, he's infected by it. We haven't been able to find anybody that was able to cure it quite yet, though we did try, of course, being the good stalwart adventurers that we are. But he decided that he wanted to come see you first before we sought any cure for it. But that would explain why he is less than fully clothed."
I'm gonna give him my cloak. I don't know why we didn't put it on.
Oh.
Because he was in the water the whole time, and it would have made it feel like a ton of bricks while he's sitting there.
Well, I mean, when he got out.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, I suppose he was just excited.
He was excited because he's home. So she kind of listens to all of this, and Aboleth, what is this nonsense? I don't even. and she just kind of covers her face. Like, she has this look of just you get a sense that she hates stupidity, just watching this party in front of her, and now hearing this story of what happened to her son. She's just like done, and she just kind of covers her face and says, "Fine, then what are you doing in my chambers?"
We rescued him. He said that you would pay us and then we would go away.
Pay you? After the way you returned him to me? Let me guess.
What?
Hold on. Let me guess. He promised you large sums of gold, didn't he? It doesn't matter. Listen, I'll give you 100 gold pieces for your troubles.
I was thinking like 750, or we'll just take him back with us.
Well, no. I don't.
As you say,
I don't think that. I think she'll go for it now.
as you say, you'll take him back with you. Her eyes kind of light up a little bit.
He didn't mean it. He doesn't speak for anybody. He's just here to be
He
adored.
likes us.
As Nav says that, I'll kind of turn toward him and kind of glare. Say, what my friend is saying is that it was a very long journey. We had took him all the way from south of,
World map.
I have the barge right in. What city was
Yes,
that in?
that's barge right in.
Barge right in. Okay,
Yep.
cool. I was like, I couldn't.
Farther than that, he was basically outside of Golden Field.
He was just outside of Golden
Yeah.
Fields when you found him. Well,
Yeah,
no,
so-
he was at the Y between Golden Fields and barge right in. But yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little ways up the river, but
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say that to her. I'll say, we've traveled all the way from Golden Fields, man. Maybe you've heard of it. And we found your son along the way and escorted him very properly, keeping him wet so his infection would not hurt him or kill him. Forbid anything like that happening. I think we should be rewarded for such danger and peril that we escorted your son through. There were fire giants that could have hit him, orcs. We heard all sorts of tales of danger around the road that he wouldn't have been able to survive without our help.
Giant birds, a hill giant.
As you begin to kind of mention all of this, she's like, No. I'll give you your 100 gold up front, just as I mentioned. However, seeing as my son was absconded, and even the water baron senses something is afoul here, perhaps I can interest you in a job. After all, you were kind enough to bring him back to me here, weren't you? And you're obviously strong enough to do whatever needs to be done in those situations. I must know who our enemies are. So, maybe I can deal with them properly. Yes, that's just it. I'll send my family priest to have a look at my son's condition. I'm sure he'll manage, and whatever foul magic has bothered him.
It's a disease.
I really don't care. And she kind of shakes her head, and you see she's just like a loss for words with him. And then she looks and says, but I did notice something. He has shown up rather without any of his belongings, should I say. That includes an irreplaceable heirloom that must be returned to our house. So, I'll make you a deal. 500 gold pieces if you could find out what really happened to my son, and another 500 for returning his pendant. It's impossible to mistake. It's black onyx, just a medallion with a emerald engraved R on the face of it.
I'm gonna lean in towards Grankle. Wait, so the pendant's worth more than her son?
That I'll kind of look over at Nav and kind of shrug. Seems like it.
question, if I may, is this sort of behavior normal of your son? You don't seem surprised that he got into trouble.
No, my dear, I don't seem surprised at all. I grow weary of his antics, to be honest.
Oh, right. Was there a party or something before he left?
Party? What do you mean by this?
Well,
He said he was attending a party of some sort before his memory went a bit fuzzy and he ended up down the river.
he said he met someone, a blonde girl, I think.
She was wearing her notes.
I
I'm like,
imagine meeting the woman is the source of his problem.
Yeah. He mentioned a party, and he talked about a golden goose. It seems weird and ridiculous, but he also said there was a beautiful woman in purple attending this party. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that?
she kind of strokes her chin a bit and thinks and says, "A woman in purple."
Well, more interested in the fact if there was a party, because if there was, we can go ask around that. But surely someone as important as you would know about that.
She looks at Selja and says, "No, I can assure you there has been no party or anything of that nature, but this woman in a purple dress, perhaps it was one of the Hand of Yatar. The Hand are this all-females thieves guild here in town. I know not where they reside, but I'd suggest looking for some hardened women in sordid places. Perhaps they would be the best way to contact this woman."
Oh, that's excellent information. Thank you.
Would you know?
Guys, our side quest turned into another side quest.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
And a main quest.
And I mean, main quest.
Ooh, interesting.
Main quest means ding. We need to go do this.
She thinks a little more and she says, "No, I can't tell you. What did you say about the party again?"
He saw a golden goose, presumably got drunk, ran into this woman in purple,
Okay.
and then the next thing he remembered, we were pulling him out of the cocoon.
As you mentioned, the golden goose, she kind of sat on the thought of it for a moment and kind of just let it run through her head, and she shakes her head and says, I can't tell you of any parties or anything of that nature, but there is the Grand Dame."
What's that?
Yeah, what's that?
The Grand Dame is a riverboat known for the Golden Goose. It's a casino.
Ooh.
Well, if I had to guess where someone could go to a party, get drunk, run into a thief and a goose, and then end up in the water. Nah, I lost it.
Good try, though, Selja.
Yeah.
You were onto something, though. Maybe we should go check this place out.
She kind of thinks for a second and says, "Well, the goose has been gone for a couple of days now, but it should be returning soon. But I can assure you, the likes of you will never make it aboard."
Why not?
What, is it a height thing?
She looks very closely at every one of you, each of you carrying weapons, and each of you wearing armor, and kind of says, "Your appearance, for one, they would never allow weapons on the Grand Dame, and let alone your attire. I mean, there's no way." But
This will be a shopping montage.
I'm thinking we're having a shopping montage, gentlemen.
she thinks for a second and says, "But if you're willing to do this job for me, perhaps a couple of you can make it. You." And points in the direction of Keelanay and Lucas. Says, "Yes, you could dress up in the guise of a noble, perhaps. And the others, you could maybe you could take on a job as workers and find your way aboard that way. Whatever you do, I assure you, if you bring weapons aboard their ship, they will certainly kill you."
if we were to attempt to proffer employment for the Golden Goose, who would we need to talk to?
She thinks for a second, kind of letting all of this kind of run through her head a bit, and she stops and says, well, technically, the ship is owned by Lord Dryland, but I know he's not available yet. He went out on business a few weeks ago, and we haven't seen him since. But perhaps you could speak to Pao Ming. She's the overseer of the casino itself. They always employ tons of individuals. Doesn't matter their stature or how they look, as long as they can do the jobs, and that's all that matters.
That's awfully progressive.
Good to see it. Yartar's a progressive society.
We don't care if you're goblins, bugbears, halflings, whatever.
Can you row a boat? Okay, you're gonna row a boat. Awesome.
Okay. Did she say where to find Yao Ming?
She mentioned, so as you're kind of talking to her, and all of this is kind of coming back to her, she does mention that if you're looking to actually gain employment, you'll have to go down to the docks, or the market, which is where the biggest dock over here, where they actually park the Grand Dame when it has returned back to port. She stops for a second and thinks, and attempts to kind of think over any details that she might need to tell you, and says, well, there's only one other thing. Generally, the Grand Dame sails out nightly and then returns very early in the morning. The ship left 2 days ago, hasn't returned yet, but I'm fairly certain it should be coming back soon. I can suggest to you, make sure if you go down there, you speak to any of the members of the Grand Dame, which there's a building right here, right by the dock, and they have, it's basically like a sign up, like you could go there to sign up and gain employment. She kind of mentions, you could obviously go down to the docks and attempt to gain employment if that's how you want to approach it. And for those of you that are going to try to sneak aboard, well, we'll get you some attire and hopefully you can pose as a guest aboard the ship.
Sounds like a plan.
As she kind of thinks this over, she stops and notice, and it's about early morning at this point. It's probably, I'd say about 8 bells in the morning, 7 bells in the morning. She kind of stops, knowing that the boat hasn't made its way back here, and says, perhaps while you are waiting, you can go and visit the Water Baron. He was very interested in my son's disappearance, and I'm beginning to get the distinct impression that Artan wasn't the only noble that has gone missing in recent weeks. The way that Ruthiel carried on, it's almost like he knew something was afoul.
Where would we find this Water Baron?
She stops for a second and not really leaving from her house very often. She says, well, if you go to the town center, you can't miss it. The building is stands well above the rest of the city at the city center.
Well, that's convenient.
And on your map, you can see this location here is kind of, raised up over the city center. That's where you can find the Water Baron.
Oh, before we go, does this family heirloom do anything, or is it just...
And she looks at you and kind of shakes her head and says, no, it's not magical or anything. It is just a relic of ours that has been passed down for many generations.
Okay, was just trying to figure out if there was a reason why they wanted to steal it outside of value.
Yeah, probably. You get the sense it's probably just value.
Well, all right. I guess some of us have to go find pretty outfits, and some of us have to go pretend that we want to work for a living.
Yeah. So, Keelan and Lucas, the woman does offer some nobles' clothes, should you want them to kind of disguise yourselves.
Lucas, you're muted, by the way.
I forgot I muted Discord this time. Too many mute options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they would help.
Yeah. And if you don't want to take her offer of these clothes, you can always try to search through the town market and try to find them yourselves, but you are pretty certain that it's free. You don't want to pass
I'll
up the
take
opportunity for free.
I'll take free.
Unfortunately,
That's
it's
just a
last season's.
Yes, it's
Designs.
last season's attire.
Winter clothes. Winter
Be-
fashion.
Be very passe.
So,
Well, it's a good thing Lucas does not understand fashion at all.
So yeah, you get the information from her. She kind of mentions something about going to see the Water Baron, finding employment, all sorts of stuff. What would you guys like to do?
In this episode of Bear Team 6, Nav gets a job.
So my feeling is we should probably hit up the employment thing right away, just in case the ship comes back while we're at the Water Barons, and we might miss our chance to sign up.
That's fair. We definitely need to make sure that we hire out Carsnook because, we're just his pimp now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Head to the job first.
Hopefully we'll be able to get some information about the boat, too, if this is, strange that it hasn't come back yet.
Yep.
That's just me, so...
I'm in agreement.
Yep.
Hi, Karsnook.
All right.
Make us money in the process.
So-
also.
While we do that, we're going to take our break.
Oh, I'll be right back.
All right. I will be right back, too.
Good, it's a good time for it.
Thank you,
Good time
chat,
to be
for
RB.
being here. Thank you for hanging out. Hope you're having fun and enjoying this session. It's a lot of fun for me, as always, to DM for these guys. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Gonna get something to drink and get settled back in, and then we will continue our adventure here within Yartar. So stick around, and I'll see you in just a few.
Same. There is food cooking, though, that I might be able to eat, so...
I'm
First
hungry.
dinner I've eaten all week.
I'm hungry too. Let's see. So hi chat, I hope you're enjoying, once again, this session. We'll be getting back to this in just a few seconds. Wait for everybody to get
I'm
back.
back.
Oh.
I am back as well.
And then, yeah, enjoy this last hour of gameplay tonight. Let's see what we got here.
Is everybody dead?
Yes.
No.
We all died. We got into a city, and they were like, what the fuck are goblins doing here? And killed us all.
I mean, to be fair, it's about time that response turned up.
Also, who needs armor?
Nav needs armor, for sure.
He's a
Better
squishy
armor.
boy.
He needs better
Right.
armor. So
Although, his armor doesn't do a whole hell of a lot.
it doesn't help when everything rolls 20 plus on his attacks.
We're working on that too. But half plates is really the only way I can improve AC at this point.
You can be more nimble. Up that dex, boy.
All right. So, yeah, let's mic check, see who's here and who we are missing.
I think you're the last one.
think so.
Selja?
Selja, I think,
Rest
the
is
last
here?
one.
Yeah, we're waiting for Rez.
Yep. Okay. You guys have control of the token, don't you? No, you do not.
Negative.
Yes. We did it one.
Once upon a time. Oop, there it is.
There you go. I fixed it.
There. This music. Dope.
All right. So what you guys doing?
I think it was discussed that we were going to head down to where the water dam employment is, and I think we could leave like Lucas and Killenay behind so they can get fancy clothes on, or at least get them, sized and crap, and then we can head down there real quick and then meet up at the. Did this place have like a name, like the town hall or
It's
something?
the Water Barons Hall.
Water Barons Hall. Yeah, we'll just meet up at the Water Barons Hall.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you guys make your way over to the southwest, over to the employment building for the Grand Dame. As you approach, you notice there are tons and tons of people that are kind of gathered around here, kind of lining up to try to gain employment here. As you approach and you're kind of looking over everything and all of the people here, you're noticing there's roughly, I'm trying to look for the right number here. Hold on. I thought I had it. I don't.
I'm back.
You're back. Yay. I'm looking for a number and I don't have it, so bear with me. I gotta go down here and open this. Okay. So as you're kind of looking over the line, you see there's roughly about like 30 people in front of you. Some are starting to gather behind you. As you're kind of gathering and kind of filing into this area, you see a sign posted on the outside of the door, or on the outside of the building that says that they're looking for 40 individuals for the upcoming trip. And they start to file through. It's taking it a while. There's a lot of people trying to get through here. And you show up, you're like mid-30s here. It's kind of almost running out of people that they're looking for as you're approaching. And as you get there, they kind of look everybody over, this kind of ragtag group, and say, are you here to be the rowers?
Yep, that's what we're here for.
Uh-huh. I love rowing.
Good. All right. Well,
Sounds like a good workout.
yeah, I mean, probably. So as you kind of agree to this, they kind of look at you. Everybody looks a little different in this line. It's not, all just, humans and things of that nature. As you approach, I need each of you that are about to board the ship, give me a charisma or deception check.
But they're both the same, so...
Yeah. Whichever one you want to use.
Hot damn.
Good thing there's an
Yes.
18 on that die.
Okay. Who else are we missing? Oh, I'm not going to roll for him. The individual, as you're kind of walking up to the building, kind of walks out, introduces himself as Nelvin. Looks kind of prim and proper, has his what looks to be like a captain's hat on, and he's looking over the group and walks by and then gets to Karsnook and looks down at him and says, "And who might you be? Are you a thief?" And Karsnook kind of recoils a bit and looks back at the others. What are you doing? Anything?
No, I don't really understand why he's being accused of being a thief.
The rest of us, while Karsnook is being accused of a thief.
Yeah, you're watching as Karsnook was standing in line. You just stepped off to the side. Karsnook was the last one in your group. And as this man walked out and looked over Karsnook, he believes Karsnook is a thief.
I mean, knowing what I know about him, I can't say that that's not an inaccurate statement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really disagreeing with the guy. He always wants money.
Yeah, he could be.
I feel like the three of us are like, oh, this suddenly makes a lot of sense.
He kind of looks him over a little bit and says, "Straighten up your coat. Fix yourself. What is wrong with you?" Stops for a second and watches, and Karsnook, like, uncomfortably starts, like, adjusting his coat and stuff. And Delvin looks at him and just kind of shakes his head and just a very kind of suspicious glare, points and tells him to leave immediately. And Karsnook's not sure how to handle it, so he starts backing out of the line, looking over to the rest of the party.
Nav shrugs.
I mean, yeah,
holds his hands up.
I just kind of
See you
shrug
when we
like
get back, buddy.
I don't know what to do.
Some of us gotta get this job. So,
So yeah, Karsnook starts backing away, kind of stepping away from it. As you're kind of gathered there and kind of standing off to the side, Delvin turns and looks back in your direction. Each of you, just kind of giving each of you a certain look, and says, "I'm so glad that these are just the rowers."
Wait, there was other jobs.
Yes, there were many other jobs. You
Why
agreed
would
to
you
the very
want
first
something
one.
else than rowing, Zelda? That sounds like a blast.
There's no guarantee you could have gotten any other jobs based on your race, but
I would have made an amazing dealer.
So, with that, as you kind of move through the line a little bit, Karsnook kind of walks off, like, kind of hides back in the shadows a bit and waits. You get your contracts, and he is offering... 1 second, because I gotta find it.
I could have been like one of the people who handed the drinks.
I'm looking. Why? He promises you 5 gold pieces to each person, with payment made in the morning, for good service for the night. Basically, as your contract, you'll get 5 gold pieces for performing your duties properly. If you do not, obviously they will dock it from your pay.
Per night?
Yes, it's just going to be one evening, you suspect.
That's what they said last night.
Yeah, as they're offering it out and everything, I just want to ask, when is the Grand Dame showing up again?
As you mentioned this, Nelvin turns to look in your direction and says, "Well, it's funny you should ask. The Grand Dame just, I don't know what happened. Something happened in transit, and they had a bunch of the oars were broken, so we had to replace them, and it took us a little while to get the oars there, but the ship is going to return here soon. Should be no problems."
What exactly happened? Was it dangerous?
Kind of looks at you and starts giving you a bit of a glare and says, "And why are you asking so many questions? You're a rower."
Because I have to know if it's going to need to be written into my contract for performance bonuses based on protecting the boat.
Wow, Nav, I didn't think you would think that far ahead.
I'm completely blown away and impressed by this.
And how are you going to defend our boat? With the oar?
I mean, it's probably going to hit
If I
people
have
with
to.
it.
Well, with that question in the air, are you looking for any guards? We happen to kind of motion to the three of us. We happen to be pretty good in a fight if one comes up. But we're happy being rowers, of course, not to take away from the job. But if you had any other employment opportunities where you needed somebody good in a fight or to protect others, we could be of use there.
He kind of looks at you and his kind of scowl stays on his face, and he's like, "We don't employ any guards. We don't need guards. Our ship is well protected by the city here, and we're not too worried about somebody coming in and starting trouble."
You can tell how protected it is by all the broken oars.
Give me a charisma check.
Gotta stop talking back to the NPCs.
Hey, I'm playing my
It's
How
totally
he
in
is.
character for the three of us.
He's so rude, it's charming.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He looks at you, and his eyes like start to build up with a bit more rage, and he's like, "You, out of line!"
And then there were 2.
Great, the 2 least imposing and smallest of statured ones will row the boats.
Row the boat. And then, yeah, you're just keep that in mind. You're rowing a large boat. The oars are probably gonna be super big.
Sal just looks at Grankle at this point because she was absolutely of the opinion that they were just gonna have Nav row the boat while they like went and did stuff. So she's just like, "What the hell do we do now?"
Do you think they're going to be okay by themselves, Lucas?
No!
Probably not.
God, I don't know. I'm gonna try. As he's yelling at Nav for him to move and says, wait. I promise my friend here will keep his big trap shut for a while, and he'll be happy to row the boats. There's no need to kick him out.
I mean, look at him. He's so big and muscular.
Insubordination. No soup for you either. Out of line.
I mean,
You'd be missing out on a lot of muscle if you kicked him out. Look at him. He's huge.
give me a persuasion check.
Oh. God. Dice gods, please. Hey!
He thinks about it for a second.
Yay!
And then looks back at Nav, and his glare returns. And then he looks back at Grancool, who's like, I imagine Grancool's like standing here like a little kid, like, just like, please.
Come on, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fun.
A couple of tense moments pass, and then he finally is like, very well. Only 3 gold for that one, though.
That's fine.
They grab Nav's contract and rip it up and then bring him a new one and write in 3 gold for service.
Nav's gonna scribble his signature and write plus 3 gold for performance bonuses for protecting the ship at the bottom.
As the person who handed you the document to sign it picks it up, she takes a look at it, looks up at Nav's imposing figure, looks back down at it. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh my God.
This is fucking chicken scratch, and she can't read any of it. She just looks over the document and is like, I don't know what the fuck. Fine, just take it. Just takes the document and puts it back behind her.
He said his name was Nav. That's at most 3 letters. Why is there so much?
He put his full name on there.
He put his full name. So
Nav
you've managed
followed you.
to convince them to let Nav back on the ship. The other 2, you're still over with the lady, Desia. What are you guys doing?
That's Keelan and Lucas.
Yeah, that's us.
Yes.
Yeah, we needed to go get fancy outfits for the party.
We have them.
You have fancy
Oh,
outfits.
we
giving
have
them
them?
to you.
Okay. Sweet. Sorry. I mean, it works, so in and out a lot. How much time do we have before it's expected to show up?
So you, based on the information that you gathered from Desia, you're to understand that when the boat arrives, there's like a 3-hour window from the time they allow the crew to board to the time that the ship leaves, because they give a bit of time in there. Like they want to allow all of the workers on the boat first before any of the people arrive to actually get on the boat and, take off.
Cruise liner rules.
Yes,
They
exactly.
can set up first. Okay.
Correct.
So we've got about 3 hours then.
So right now it's morning time. It's like 8 bells or so in the morning. I think I kind of mentioned that, right? I think I mentioned that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Okay. It's 8 bells in the morning. So you've got most of the rest of the morning here and the afternoon that you can still do whatever you need to do. The crew is going to start loading on the ship at roughly 4 bells in the afternoon, and then there'd be like a 3-hour period of them getting into position and getting everything ready. And then at 7 bells, the boat will undock and head up the river.
So we've got 6 or 7 hours to.
You've got some time to kill, yeah.
Yeah, I think we discussed before we separated that, once we were done with the employment and they got their new fancy threads, we were going to head over to the Water Barons Hall and meet up there.
Okay.
So why travel with goblins?
Me?
No, she's talking to Lucas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Him.
Me.
Yep.
They were in the same caravan as my companion and I. When a city got attacked. That's just been trying to figure this out together, really. That's about it. Just so happened they were in the same caravan.
So odd, but they've done so well. I guess they're not like the others. That's good.
They are definitely the first goblins I haven't killed on sight.
Yes, it's an interesting feeling.
Yes, it is.
That should be reassuring to the goblins in the party.
We can't hear them.
Also, the one thinking himself a god, a deity. So,
Oh, yes, that's
it's
really
quite comical.
It is, but it's good to encourage them because, who knows what he could achieve if he actually believes it's true.
I guess so.
They're on the list. He's omnipotent. He knows all.
Oh no, he's ascended. No one can read it though.
Who'd have thought 2 followers was enough for him to ascend to a portfolio?
That's 3.
Well,
Thank you very much.
3.
There's 3.
One. We're starting a new goblin cave. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Poor Selja.
No, she's perfectly fine with this.
Okay.
All right, we're not going into that.
However, this whole being a noble thing.
Oh, are you not used to it?
No.
I mean, it's not that hard. You just need to act like you're better than everyone else.
Oh. Okay.
It doesn't
I
have to
will
actually
still
be true.
I will still follow your on all of this.
Well, that's probably best. I hear most humans think elves are superior anyways, so it's good. Just try to emulate us. I'm of course not an elf. I'm an Eladrin, so it's much different, but we still have parties in the Feywild.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good to know.
We'll have to check one out sometime. It'll be fun.
Ooh. That sounds like a good idea.
All right. So you guys kind of wrap up at getting your clothes and everything prepared. What is the current objective for everybody?
Talk shit about Greycoat, apparently.
Hey, whoa! We weren't talking shit. We said we were going to encourage.
Y'all gave
This-
Greycoat the southern. Oh, bless his heart.
Oh,
We put on our best flat foot.
dude.
Oh, bless his heart.
Oh,
Fuck
bless
you
your
guys.
heart.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, we're
he's shorter.
headed to,
He's shorter than a nine tails on a lily pad.
I will end you with a fireball. Yeah, we're heading towards the Water Baron's house.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll make her. Yeah.
Everybody makes their way over towards the Water Baron's house. All right. So the Water Baron of Yartar, Nestra Ruthol, resides at Water Baron's Hall, which sits at the center of Yartar. It's a tall, somewhat squat building with a vaulted roof. In it are a ton of meeting rooms and a vast feast hall. The Water Baron's grand chambers lie towards the back part of the building. The hall is built in marble with rich tapestries and ornate statues that kind of fill this very high-ceilinged chamber. As you begin to approach, the two guards outside, known as Shields of Yartar, stand on either side of the doorway, kind of blocking entrance into the hall. They kind of look over this party and kind of say, "What business have you here?"
Normal looking people? Y'all should.
Oh,
Well, hi. First off, how are you today?
The guards aren't much for conversation, so they kind of stare at you, waiting for their answer.
What was our reason for being here again, guys?
we are.
We're telling him about that dude.
We would like to speak to the Water Baron.
Oh, right.
Oh, yes, we request an audience with the Water Baron, if you please.
And what business do you have with the Water Baron?
It's about the kid who went missing. The noble kid.
Yes,
Okay.
we're investigating the. I guess it wouldn't be a disappearance since he's been returned, but we're following up on the investigation about his kidnapping at the time.
And as you say that, the two guards kind of look at each other and nod a bit, and then turn around. One of the guards grabbing onto the door and kind of swinging it open, allowing entrance into the chamber ahead. They immediately, as you enter in, the shield of Yartar just kind of motions you in, and as you come inside the building, they quickly stop you and say, "We're going to have to request that you turn over your weapons here."
I'm gonna. We changed into the noble clothes,
Mhm.
right?
Yep,
But we left all our weapons.
you did. Yes.
She takes off her rapier because, I mean, even dressed as a noble, she probably still carries her sword because nobles can carry rapiers around. That's pretty commonplace.
Yep, but not on the boat though.
No, of course not. We're not at the boat though, are we?
I know.
thought we were
I'm
at
just
the-
no, we're not. I'm
Yeah.
just letting. That's just reminding
Yeah,
me.
no.
Yeah, Saljo.
They made it clear that they will stab us and throw us in the river if we have weapons.
Mhm.
Saljo will
Right.
hand over her walking stick, even though it's perfectly harmless.
Yeah, I hand over the rapier.
I have
Raven
no
reaches-
weapon.
Yeah, reaches into his cloak and pulls out two daggers that are, pristinely shiny. He's never really used them. Hands them over.
Nab's gonna hand him his halberd, and then pull his longbow from over his shoulders, and then give them his crowbar and his hammer.
Just 10 minutes later, he's still taking off weapons.
And as you do this, the guard quickly turns around, placing all of your belongings inside of a chest. It's just right beside the doorway there, and then motions for one of the other guards, very heavily armored guard, who walks up and begins to escort you back to the back of the chambers into the Water Baron's Grand Chamber. From within this building, or this room, the Baron kind of turns around, her eyebrows raised a bit, seeing the goblins, then quickly turns back around, staring back out the window that she was standing in front of, kind of keeps her back to you as she speaks and says, "Yes, what is it?"
Well, hello. Greetings. I am Kilane, a representative of the Emerald Enclave. These are my associates, Lucas, Grancool the Magnificent.
And a god.
Well, yes, of course. I just wasn't going to lead with that pretense. This is Selja, and that's Nav. We're here because we're investigating the kidnapping of one of your nobles.
And she, as you say that, she kind of turns and looks back in your direction and says, "Which one?"
It was Artin Rizzolio.
And how did you stumble across Rizzolio? Where was he?
Oh, near Goldenfield, downriver.
In a cocoon.
Near Goldenfield.
Yeah, he was kind of far from home.
Yeah, just a little. She kind of looks and says, "And who told you to come see me of this?"
Well, we returned him back to his mother, who was kind of pleased to see him, but she asked that you...
Is that what you took from that exchange?
I certainly didn't get that impression.
And as you say that, the Water Baron kind of chuckles and says, "No, neither do I."
Yeah, she was... yeah, anyway, she said that you had been investigating apparently a string of disappearances, and that you would like to be privy to this information, that he's been returned and what state he was in.
Have you had any issues with aboleths lately?
She kind of looks at you a bit odd and says, "No, I can't say that I have, but this is a bit of an interesting topic. It's concerning the number of nobles who have been disappearing in recent days. If I can be completely honest, I'm kind of not surprised."
Not surprised by your nobles going missing? Why is that?
She stops and says, "Well, I believe Lord Dryland might be involved. He's been vying for my seat here as Water Baron since I've taken it, and it is a bit awfully suspicious that these nobles have gone missing from their families that end up backing me as Water Baron."
Oh, so these have been targeted abductions.
She kind of nods and says, "I think so. But because of my seat here in Yartar, I can't act on these suspicions alone. Any brash moves might risk tipping my hand in their favor and turning the other nobles against me, and I certainly do not want that. If only I had a bit more sufficient proof to warrant a thorough investigation into Dryland, then perhaps I could put an end to all of this madness."
Or a couple of unaffiliated adventurers who could do the looking for you.
Well, where is she going to get any of that?
I know. Good luck, though. And we turn to leave. I'm kidding.
This quest log is full.
You must now delete a quest to continue the next quest.
Abandoned quest. Drop barrel child from inventory.
As she kind of looks over everybody and says, "What do you say? Would you be interested in helping me?"
We could be convinced.
We could, yes, as my friend said, we could be convinced for the right price or, reward for such a deed as this. It could be somewhat hazardous to our health, depending on what we needed to investigate.
Well, what you need to investigate is the reason that these nobles, 3 of which have gone missing in recent days. Not just Artan, but Jacob Dawnflower and Timothy Salzburg. They are all of noble lineage, of course, and all, like I mentioned, their families do support our cause here. Timothy was a regular at Dryland's Grand Dame, the casino riverboat. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
I mean,
As a matter of fact,
I'm a rower.
As you say that you're a rower, she kind of looks at you and says, "That's interesting."
Yeah, they hired me as a guard.
No,
we're currently
yeah, that's
investigating
not, no.
leads to the riverboat as it is. They're infiltrating as rowers and will be attending as patrons. And she gestures over to Lucas.
So good, you're going to be poking around there anyways. So while you're doing so, perhaps you can learn anything that might involve these nobles. The third one, Jacob, we have only heard rumors that he might be involved in the Hand of Yartar, but we have no other proof. That's really all we have to go on him.
When you say involved, do you mean he was a member or he was just associating with them?
He kind of looks and scrunches his face a little bit and is like, I'm not for certain. To be honest, it's... If he was involved with the Hand of Yartar, then he has certainly got himself mixed up into an organization that he does not want to deal with. He is a man, after all, and the Hand of Yartar is female, so he has probably gotten himself into a bit of trouble with them, would be my guess. Or perhaps he was looking to them for help with a certain situation. Again, the details are a bit fuzzy here.
Well, if one was to seek out the Hand of Yartar, where would they go to do so?
She stops and thinks and says, well, the Hand of Yartar can usually be tracked down in various places through the city. Perhaps, I'm not sure, have you checked at the docks yet? Or have you been through any of Town Square? There are plenty of places around here, maybe some of the less than reputable inns. I really don't know of a fantastic place to tell you to go to.
So look into the parts of town where we would normally go. Got it.
She kind of nods and says, the two most popular are a bit sordid taverns. The Coin Toss or the White-Winged Griffin. If anywhere, if they're going to be hanging out in, within an inn or tavern, that's where you're going to find them.
That is excellent information. Thank you. Let's see. Missing people. Know where to look for the Hand of Yartar. We're already getting on the boat.
And she kind of looks at you, and as you're kind of gathering this information, she kind of reaches for a coin purse and starts fumbling through it a bit and says, here, I'll give you 100 gold pieces up front for your efforts. However, be warned, what you are doing is not official work for me or my city. Should you be caught doing anything illicit, or take up arms against the shields or any of Yartar's citizens, I'll deny having ever met you and punish you according to the Yartar law.
With that, as Grinkle reaches up and takes the money, putting it into his sack, he just smiles at her and says, who are you again?
And she nods and doesn't say anything else and of, you know, that kind of conversation, and then says, then I suppose that is it. You're gone. You will leave here. Make your way down to the docks. I am sure the boat will be here very soon. And good luck, because you're going to need it.
Alright. I'm down to leave. If y'all don't have anything else.
I don't have anything else to ask.
Oh, good to go.
Okay.
All right.
Go.
So where are you headed next?
About how long do you think we have until boat's arrival?
You've got about another 2 hours before they're... So the boat, from where you stand, you can look over to the docks. And you can see the boat is now docked. But you still have about 2 hours before they're going to let you onto the boat.
Let the rowers on and
Let the workers on, yes.
Okay.
And then how long for the nobles?
There's a 3-hour downtime, so it's a turnover time. They're getting the boat prepared for a voyage.
Okay. So, so we have kind of options here, out of character stuff. So we could do like some. Did she give us that up front? Can't remember.
She gave you
us
the
the
100
100
gold up
The
front.
100, yes, and then there's a total of 1,000 for two
Yep. From
other
the
things.
other
Okay.
lady, yeah.
We did get 100 from her as well, didn't we?
She gave you 100 up front for returning her son, and then offered you a total of 5,000 if you can kind of get to the bottom of this ordeal, or 500 if you get to the bottom of this ordeal, and another 500 if you can return the pendant or the medallion.
For a total of $1,000.
For a total of $1,000, and then the Water Baron just gives you 1,000 out front,
100.
Or 100 out front just for in-game stuff, right? Gives you 100 up front just for your effort, just to kind of motivate you to want to research this a little bit.
But didn't say anything about a final
She did not.
amount.
I went ahead and put the 100 in my inventory from Nestra. If somebody else wants to put the 100 from.
I took the other 100 into
Alright.
the party money.
Okay.
Party money.
I'm keeping a side stash just so we have extra money, but that's the only reason why.
fine.
now. All right. So, like I said, a couple options. I don't think that it's a great idea for the two people that are nicely dressed and stuff to go to the rough part of town. So that kind of ruins investigating into the hand of Yartar now. May have to wait until.
Yeah, we're kind of
Well,
time constrained too.
Yeah,
because
so I mean, we
do
could do
that
some
more than 2 hours.
we could
We're
go
probably
through-
going to run into them on the boat anyway. I
Yeah,
mean, there's no reason they wouldn't be there.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about that. So we could do like some basic shopping for a couple hours and then head over. Find somewhere to leave our weapons, like in an inn or something.
We need to set Lucas up as like some rich oil baron so he can get robbed by these ladies.
Yeah, he has all the money, so he can just keep his bag of holding with him or something.
Sure.
That wouldn't look weird or anything. Just
I mean,
carry a
they
backpack with all your
couldn't-
fine clothes.
How would you go about searching a bag of holding?
You can.
Turn it inside out now.
If I do that, the fabric of reality would literally explode.
You want all my money to just spill out all over the place?
Well,
Yeah, it's
okay.
not happening.
Just dump it in their direction.
2,000 copper pieces everywhere.
That's it.
Have fun with
10d6
that.
damage.
All right. So you're gonna do some searching or some shopping, I'm guessing, and then make your way over by the docks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to refill like on rations and stuff.
Yep.
Just basic things.
So yeah, you can do that. And as you're kind of doing so, it's all of the vendors and stuff are actually offering everything at a little bit of a discount because this place is so big and popular, and there's so many travelers that come through. There are also a lot of vendors here. So they are offering anything that you're wanting to buy with a 10% discount.
Okay.
Find an armor smith right now.
Welcome to Half Plate's Emporium.
There would only be 75 gold off.
Yeah. Still is super expensive, but we don't have enough for. So.
Yes.
But if we can take these quests, we will get him some armor afterwards.
So copper convert into silver at a 10-to-1.
10-to-1. Everything's 10-to-1.
10-to-1.
Yep.
Well,
That-
except
for
for Electrum,
Electrum.
which is
which-
5-to-1.
We don't use because it's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't
All
even
right,
give
so-
out Electrum.
Yeah, I would love
I'm
to.
gonna
just
go
take
to a
that.
bank and convert all my money to Electrum.
I'm gonna convert all the party money to Electrum.
Please, guys.
Let's not do that, please.
All right, so 10% off 5. That'd be what, 1 silver piece off, I guess. For ration.
Yeah, we'll round it. Yeah, so 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, so-
and just round to the nearest in your favor. So
Okay, I'll buy 20 rations, so 10 for myself, 10 for Nav.
Okay.
If anybody else wants some, I can buy y'all some too. No big deal. So that's 40 silver
Yeah,
pieces.
yeah. How much for 10 for me?
Wait, no, that's 80 silver pieces.
I'm
10 is
currently
40
carrying
silver.
19.
That's 8 gold. So 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm back up to 15 now.
We're at 17.
Okay.
I still have the lead.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to bring anything really with us, so I'm not worried about buying other stuff right now. I
yeah.
just want some rations to put in my bag, and then after we're done with the shopping, what do y'all think? Grabbing an inn, a room in an inn that seems secure. And then
Nah,
we're still fine?
I say we just say the shopping took 2 hours and go.
I'm very discerning
We
about
could just
my gross rations.
it could just be window shopping for 2 hours.
Selja just stares forlornly at a goblin-sized dress that she can't wear to the fancy boat because they won't accept her.
You can
First,
definitely wear
first off, madam, that's a halfling-sized dress.
Ouch.
Selja throws a
Yeah.
brick through the window and runs.
Please don't do that.
Discrimination!
I mean, you can.
No,
I thought this was
absolutely not.
progressive.
No, definitely
This was progress.
Goblin Party continues to be Goblin Party.
Okay.
This isn't progressive
Embrace
at
your
all.
All right, we're good. I think.
Okay. So you start making your way over towards the docks, and as you do, go ahead and give me another perception check, everybody.
All the perception check. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that big beefy 3.
Oh, ignore the double click.
Double roll.
Can I roll twice, please?
Hey, back to the single digit.
Hmm.
Although, do Killinay and I need to do this? Because we don't go there yet?
Oh, you wouldn't be there. You're right,
Yeah.
because you're waiting.
Damn it.
Man. Selja, as you start making your way through some of these alleyways and stuff, and you're passing by several beggars and homeless people, just people looking for coin and things of that nature just to feed themselves. You pass by one that looks a little out of place. A very tall woman, though wearing some tattered robes and a cloak, looks a little too well fed and sharp-eyed. As you kind of pass by, this dirty blonde-haired woman, kind of squared jaw, looks at you very closely. Kind of nasty scar on her face. It runs from her hairline to her upper lip, which kind of twists her mouth into almost a scowl. And kind of watches you very closely and says, "What do you want? Bugger off now. I got no business with you."
I was just walking. Sheesh.
Maybe this town isn't as progressive as you thought
Yeah,
it was.
really,
So-
you can't even walk down an alleyway without getting accosted.
Are you talking to somebody?
Are you saying that to the lady?
No, I'm
Woman?
talking to Selja.
Oh.
Yeah, I was talking to
I couldn't
her.
And as you say that, this woman who's kind of like curled up, like sitting on the ground with this kind of tattered robe over her, looks up from Selja and looks over at the others and says, "What? I said bugger off."
We're not even talking to you, lady. Yeah, I'm just gonna look towards Grankle and Selja.
We weren't talking to you. It's fine. We're just heading down now. Yeah.
I'm gonna insight
Okay.
because this is very odd.
It is very odd. As you're kind of looking her over, you notice that her left hand is kind of hidden, like almost under her robe or cloak that she has, and she's just keeping a very close eye on you. And the only reason that she even said anything was because you kind of looked in her direction as she was watching you.
Lady, you were the one who was looking at me.
I just watching you. Go away from me.
Wait, why are you watching us?
Is there a problem?
You're not here.
You're not there.
No, I'm not here. Okay. Sorry, somebody literally walked in right as we started moving plot again, so it's like, oh no.
She kind of clutches her fist that's kind of out in the open and says, I don't like your type around here. I don't know why you're here. Why are you here?
We are going to our harder job, actually. What are you doing here? You're just sitting there staring at people. It's very rude.
She kind of looks at you and scoffs and says, job, sure, goblin.
Huh. Maybe this place isn't as progressive as we thought.
No, definitely not.
She's definitely rather rude.
Very rude. Oh well, we gotta get to the boat soon.
Well, lady, I'm just going to let you just enjoy the irony of the situation where the two goblins and the bugbear who didn't do anything mean to you are going to politely walk away. And you're just a grump and mean. And I have more scars than you do, and you don't hear me complaining about it.
Selja, as you continue to say all of these things, you finally turn and regroup with Nav and Grant Cool, and you continue walking forward. Give me a perception check.
In order to dodge the knife that's coming at my head.
Maybe.
I'll give you this with advantage, just so it'll make it interesting.
To dodge the knife that's coming at my head.
As you're walking, you suddenly feel your coin purse ripped off of your side. And this woman immediately, as you turn around, it's that same woman that was sitting down, has ran off and has kind of like started darting between some of the houses.
Do I see her still?
Yeah, she's a good ways out.
How much was in there?
141 coins. Nav!
It's my
Guards?
No, Nav's faster.
Nav's faster.
The guards probably
I'm
would not take
waiting on
goblins.
Grankle because he's like.
Yeah, I'm immediately turning around, seeing her, and seeing Selja kind of looking down at her coin purse missing, and I throw my hand out, and I'm going to cast Slow on her.
Okay.
And I am going to take off after her.
Okay. Yeah, she's within range of that, and she immediately feels herself slow down while she thought she was going to get away. She kind of stops, almost like she's trying to fight against it, and it's like just making it even worse for her. And Nav, you're able to quickly run up, and I don't know how you're wanting to interact with her, but you're able to get right up beside her and catch her pretty quickly.
Yeah, as soon as I catch her, I'm just going to grab her by the wrist and turn her wrist outward and grab the coin purse with my other hand and then just kind of lift her up by one arm and try and lift her off of the ground so she can't run anymore.
As you lift her up, she starts panicking and like grabbing onto your arm, like to brace it, like to, just keep the weight off of like her neck or her around her sternum. And she like holds on tight and says, listen, it's okay. You can let me go. I'm sorry. I have very powerful friends. You do not want to do this.
I'm going to ignore what she says and just start looking around and scream for the guards.
Wait, Nav, hold on.
I say me and Selge are heading up behind him. As I get closer and everything, I'm going to walk up next to Nav and kind of look up at her and say, yeah, powerful friends. You're probably part of that infamous Hand of Yartar, huh?
What do you know of the Hand of Yartar?
That you normally wear purple dresses.
What?
Ouch.
What?
I mean, isn't that what the kids said? I don't know.
Kid, just look back away from Selge, shaking my head like, what the fuck? Look at the woman again, tilt my head and say, well, we've heard a little bit about you and we kind of expected you to do something like that. Your powerful friends, though, well, where would someone find them if they were looking for them?
She kind of stops and trying to catch her breath, like holding on tightly, just trying not to feel any of like the grip from Nav here. And says, listen, if you put me down, I'll tell you what you want to know.
I'm going to look towards Grankle while holding my other hand out to Selda to give her a corn pickers back.
Thanks, Nav.
With that, I'll kind of, still with a bit of a grin on my face, say, okay, and turn towards Nav, say, put her down. Don't let her hand go, though.
I'll just slowly lower her, but I'm going to keep her arm just like right there where if she tries anything, I can lift her right back up.
So as you kind of put her down, she kind of looks at you and says, yes, I'm with the Hand of Yartar. I was told to distract you so that you might miss the boat.
No.
Why would you want that, I wonder?
Also, let's not be so long in the questioning that she does her job anyway.
I mean, I feel like we still have a few minutes, so...
Do we still have a few minutes? I'm going to look around. Does the boat seem like it's about to leave?
It's not about to leave, but boarding for workers is going to be starting in about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
That's plenty of time.
Yeah,
you're
you've
not
got a
gonna-
little bit of time to get there.
So, well, you're not gonna delay us too much, I don't think. I mean, I would hate for anything to happen to you with my powerful friend here, and I kind of nod my head over towards Nav.
As he does, I'm just going to kind of lift up him and set her back down.
She kind of looks at you and says, well, I don't want to fight you, but what do you want?
Well,
I'm just doing my job. I got paid to do a job. Why are you bothering me still?
By who?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
who paid you to do the job?
If you never ran into a thieves guild before, I can't tell you who my contact is. I can't give you that information.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell you you're being watched.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're two goblins and a bugbear. I mean,
No.
Yeah,
it's
we're
not
being watched
really
all the time.
reasonable. It'd be unreasonable to assume that we weren't.
I think you misunderstand me.
Probably.
You're being watched. People know what you are up to.
What are we up to? We're not even sure half of the time.
He's not wrong.
How anybody takes the three of us seriously?
Of course, the Thieves Guild does.
People take you seriously?
Apparently.
She reaches and kind of leans in a little bit and says, I know what you're going to the Grand Dame for, and I can tell you, your answers do not lie with us or the Zentarum, nor the Harpers.
Well, I'm out of suspects.
Well, who would our
Was
answers lie
Keelan
with
the
then?
whole time.
It was Keelan the whole time. She kind of looks at you and says, and I can also tell you this. That purple lady that you're looking for, she's not one of us. I would be very cautious of her, though. Should you run into her, she has mind powers and likes to use them to her advantage. The Hand tried to recruit her once, but she wasn't buying it.
How much were they paying you?
And she looks over at Selja and says, how much gold do you have in that pouch?
5 copper.
And
Probably not far off.
She's probably gonna get advantage on her roll.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, she does this for a living, Selja, calm down.
Wow.
she looks at you and kind of grins and says, yes, 5 copper looks or feels exactly like that in a pouch.
Right.
Well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Soldier has no idea that she's completely been found out.
She stops and says, but I can assure you, you're going to want to let me go now. I have done all I can. I have served my purpose. I have attempted to delay you, and you have thwarted my attempts, so I'll let you go and disappear like the others.
One last question before
yeah,
you go.
I also have a question.
Where do we find you when we get back if we need to?
Never mind about my question.
She kind of looks everybody over and says, well, did you ever try the coin toss? Because most of us hang out there.
Hadn't had the chance yet.
Haven't been there yet, but I think we'll be visiting it soon.
Is there like a way to get one of your attention, or?
Oh no, just like now, we'll be watching you. That's if you can manage to make it on the boat.
With that, I'm like, oh, yeah, we should probably leave. Nav, put it down. And you, what was your name again?
I didn't give it to you now, did I?
Of course you didn't. Okay, fine. Nameless woman who likes to steal things and is very rude. Just remember that you kept your life today. Remember that.
As you say that, you see she snaps her fingers, and as she does, these 4 large, hulking women step around the corner and says, no, friend. I spared yours. And that's how we're going to end our session tonight.
Soldier politely tosses her 5 coins and then is like, hey, nice job.
Here you go. It's fine. Here, you can have it. Okay.
And then I used the scroll of Conjure Elemental.
I'll cast slow again on all 4 of them, or all 5 of them. I don't think you want to do this.
I'm gonna go get on the boat.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna get on the boat before shit goes sideways.
Session.
So yeah, next session, you guys will be boarding the Grand Dame. But first, you're gonna level up.
Hey! Level up.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy,
Love
oh
it.
boy, oh boy. Wait,
What
Nav.
does that do for me?
Take the average.
Yeah, take the average. Yeah, take the average.
I think I'm gonna take the average 2.
All right, while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna end stream and then I'll come back.
All right.
All right. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for being here, as always. I appreciate it. I don't hear music. Why not? I don't hear music. Oh, here we go. Let's get music. That's music. Thank you for being here. don't forget, Fate is playing Tomb Raider tomorrow. Friday is D&D recap or replay, and then Saturday is the return of Civil War Alliance. I hope you'll be there for it. I am so very much looking forward to that game. Be sure to tune in for one of those. I can't wait to have you guys around and get to see what's about to transpire for those guys, because it's going to be nuts. We are going to find somebody to go raid. I don't know who, so we're going to find somebody. Let's see. Tomb Raider. He's been on that for about 6 sessions now, so he's getting pretty close to the end, I believe. Let's go make a new friend, because I'm not seeing anybody I want to raid yet. So, we're going to go and raid a new friend here. Let's go to Exploding Dice. Here we go. So, go over to Exploding Dice, say hi to them. Thank you for being here tonight. I will see you guys on Saturday for Civil War Alliance. Have a good night, guys, and see you then.